Chapter 478. When they arrived at the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's mountain gate, they saw that outside the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, there was an army as far as the eye could see. The army was divided into two groups. One of them was clad in golden armor, and they were riding golden lions that looked like little golden suns. There were at least 100,000 soldiers. The Sun Legion was the Sun Legion of the Great Sun Palace. On the other side of the Sun Legion was a legion wearing blue battle armor. This legion was the most elite of the 10 Direction Sword Sect, and there were about 100,000 of them. The two legions added up to 200,000, and their aura was so powerful that it made many disciples of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect break out in cold sweat. It was with these two elite legions that the Decimo Sword Sect broke through and unexpectedly arrived before the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Shua. When Lin Shui and the others came out, a figure charged out from the 10 Direction Sword Sect's army and stood in the air with a powerful aura. It was Qiu Wuyang, the sect master of the 10 Direction Sword Sect. Lin Shui, you're already at the end of the road. Surrender now, and perhaps we can spare your life. Qiu Wuyang stood with his hands behind his back and looked at Lin Shui with disdain. Shua. Lin Shui took a step forward and also floated in the air, facing Qiu Wuyang. Qiu Wuyang, you've only borrowed external power. It's not much. Lin Shui said coldly. Lin Shui, you're too naive. The winner takes all. You still don't understand this principle. No wonder you lost. Qiu Wuyang laughed complacently. Lin Shui didn't look at him, and instead looked at the Sun Legion. She cupped her fists and said, Everyone from the Great Sun Palace, my Mystic Essence Sword Sect has never offended the Great Sun Palace. Why did you send an army to surround us? We never offended our Great Sun Palace? What a joke! 3 figures flew out from the Sun Legion. Each of them wore golden battle armor and had a powerful aura. These 3 were all half-step kings. The one in the middle was a burly man who was more than 2 meters tall. He was the one who had just spoken. He looked at Lin Shui coldly and said, Your Mystic Essence Sword Sect has a grudge with my Great Sun Palace for a long time. You just don't know about it. The old grudge he was talking about was the matter between Lu Ming and Yang Liuji. Lin Shui naturally didn't know about it and was stunned. The burly man sneered and continued, Moreover, even if there were no old grudges, all of you should still be destroyed. Who asked you to offend the genius of the Di Tian Divine Guards? Di Tian Divine Guard, it is indeed the Di Tian Divine Guard. Qiu Changkong, is it you? At this moment, Ling Padian flew up to the sky and stood beside Lin Shui. That's me. At that moment, a figure flew out from the army of the Decimo Sword faction. It was Qiu Changkong. Qiu Changkong's eyes were cold as he laughed. Lin Shui, Ling Padian, the Burning Sun Empire should be unified. You are so stubborn, you are digging your own graves. Qiu Changkong, as the Empyrean Divine Guard, you actually used your personal authority to mobilize the armies of other empires and start a war. You have violated the rules of the Empyrean Divine Palace. If this matter is investigated, you will not be able to escape punishment. Lin Shui said. Investigate? What a joke. With just the 2 of you? Even if you report me to the Empyrean Divine Palace, who would listen to you? Who would investigate a genius like me, the Empyrean Divine Guard, just because of ants from a small empire? What a joke. Qiu Changkong laughed without any fear. Damn it. Lin Shui, Ling Padian, and the others gritted their teeth as their anger soared. However, they felt helpless in their hearts. They understood that Qiu Changkong was right. They were just a few half-step kings from small empires. In the eyes of the Empyrean Divine Palace, they had no weight at all. Even if they reported, no one would care about them. Qiu Changkong, don't be arrogant. Lu Ming is an Eastern Sky Divine Guard. If he knows about this matter, he will definitely not let this matter rest. Hua Qi shouted from the mountain peak of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Lu Ming, I advise you not to expect anything from Lu Ming. He is probably already dead. Qiu Changkong sneered. Impossible? Qiu Changkong, you are bullshitting. How could anything happen to Lu Ming? You are still alive, so how could Lu Ming die? Hua Qi shouted. Chiao Changkong roared as a cold killing intent burst out from his body. His body emitted a mountain-like aura that was extremely terrifying. Half-Step King, you have reached the Half-Step King realm? Lin Shui shouted in disbelief. At this moment, the aura that Chiao Changkong emitted was indeed the aura of a Half-Step King. It seemed like Chiao Changkong's cultivation had also improved greatly during this period of time. His cultivation had reached the peak of martial ancestor realm, and he had comprehended a trace of thunder intent. He was indeed in the Half-Step King realm. Ling Patian, Hua Qi, Shangguan Ming, Yan Quan, and the others' faces turned ugly. In such a short period of time, Chiao Changkong's cultivation had already reached the Half-Step King realm. It was terrifying. Chiao Changkong sneered, looking at Lin Shui and the others as if he was looking at ants. In the end, he looked at Hua Qi and shouted coldly, "Hua Qi, how dare you? I'm a DT on Divine Guard. You're just a prince of a fallen empire, how dare you scold me? You're simply courting death. Now, I'll give you a chance. Kneel down and kowtow to me in front of everyone. I will spare your life." A warrior prefers death to humiliation. Chiao Changkong, kill me if you dare. You want me to kneel down and apologize? Impossible. Hua Qi shouted coldly, not giving Chiao Changkong any face. You are courting death. Chiao Changkong's gaze turned cold as his palm slashed out like a sword. A lightning sword instantly crossed the void and slashed towards Hua Qi. It was fast, indescribably fast. Lin Shui, Ling Patian, and the others wanted to help, but it was too late. Eighth Prince, be careful. Beside Hua Qi, an aged figure suddenly rushed out. His body emitted a vast aura as he slashed out a saber light. However, the blade light was shattered like tofu by Chiao Changkong's sword light. Blood spurted out as the old figure was split into two by Chiao Changkong's sword light. Imperial Grandfather. Hua Qi let out an earth-shattering roar. The person who stood in front of Hua Qi was the last imperial uncle of the imperial family. He was the last martial ancestor realm 9th realm expert, and he had died just like that. The imperial uncle had been standing beside Hua Qi, and that was why he was able to save Hua Qi's life in time. Chiao Changkong, I will fight you to the death. Hua Qi's eyes were red as he stared at Chiao Changkong. You're just an ant. You want to fight to the death with me? Chiao Changkong shouted coldly as he slashed out another blade light. Clang. This time, Lin Shui was prepared. Her aura surged as she slashed out a blade light towards Chiao Changkong's blade light. Boom! There was an earth-shattering explosion and a figure was forced to retreat. It was Lin Shui. At that moment, her body was trembling. The crowd saw a deep wound on Lin Shui's chest that was bleeding profusely. Hiss! The sound of people sucking in cold air could be heard. Chapter 479. Lin Shui, the sect leader of the Mystic Essence Sword sect and a half-step king, was injured by Chiao Changkong in one move. Moreover, Chiao Changkong didn't seem to have used his full strength. Chiao Changkong's battle power was too horrifying. Everyone on the Mystic Essence Sword sect's side was shocked. Don't think that you can stop me just because you're a half-step king. Let me tell you, you're just an ant in front of me. Chiao Changkong looked down at Lin Shui from above, looking extremely arrogant. Lin Shui's face turned ugly as she retreated quickly. At the same time, Ling Patian followed behind her and the two retreated back to the sect gate. Activate the sect protection array. Lin Shui yelled. As Lin Shui's voice rang out, the Qilin Peak, Azure Dragon Peak, Vermilion Bird Peak, Black Tortoise Peak, and White Tiger Peak of the Mystic Essence Sword sect trembled slightly. Then, an extremely dazzling light as large as a mountain shot out from each of them. The 5 lights converged and formed a huge light screen that covered the entire Mystic Essence Sword sect. Within the array, endless sword chi flowed, protecting the Mystic Essence Sword sect. This array had been damaged from the inside by the Duanmu family during the battle of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Now, it had been completely repaired, and its power was even stronger than before. Stop me? Dream on. Chiao Changkong snorted as his bloodline appeared. At the same time, A battle sword with lightning appeared in his hand. Slash! Qiu Changkong shouted and slashed out with his combat sword. A dazzling thunderbolt sword chi slashed towards the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's protective array. The protective formation of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect trembled slightly. In a flash of light, a sword ray as large as a mountain was formed. It flew out and collided with Qiu Changkong's sword chi. With a loud boom, the two sword lights disappeared without a trace. Everyone on the Mystic Essence Sword Sect let out a sigh of relief. With the sect protection array, it wouldn't be easy for Qiu Changkong to break through. Damn it! Qiu Changkong roared and wanted to continue attacking. Junior brother, let me do it. At this moment, a faint voice sounded. Then, Xueqiao walked out with his hands behind his back and appeared in front of Qiu Changkong. Senior brother, it would be great if you could make a move. Qiu Changkong was overjoyed. Yes. Xueqiao nodded and turned to look at the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. His eyes were filled with disdain as he said, "It's just a small array. Child's play. Who can it stop?" With that, Xueqiao took another step forward and appeared above the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, overlooking the entire sect. Who is this person? Lin Shui and the others looked worried. Boom. At this moment, Xueqiao's aura erupted without the slightest restraint. A mighty and terrifying aura filled the entire Mystic Essence Sword Sect. As soon as Lin Shui and the other half-step kings sensed this aura, their faces changed drastically and became deathly pale. A king! This is the aura of a king! This is a king! Lin Shui roared in horror. Her eyes were full of shock. How could this be? Even the kings of the Di Tian Divine Guards have been mobilized. Ling Padian also roared. What? Was this a king? Heavens, such a young king? We're finished. We're finished. The Mystic Essence Sword Sect was in an uproar. Countless shocked eyes looked at Xueqiao in the air. Seeing the expressions of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, Xueqiao felt extremely comfortable. He loved the look of awe on her face. Just a small array. Break for me. Xueqiao roared and waved his hand. Boundless lightning energy gathered toward Xueqiao. A 1,000-meter-long lightning sword formed in the air and slashed toward the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Activate the array. Activate the array. Defend with all your might. Lin Shui roared. The array shook violently. Boundless light gathered and formed a huge sword that slashed toward Xueqiao's lightning sword. Boom. This time, however, the giant sword formed by the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's great protective array was instantly destroyed. However, the huge lightning sword did not stop there. Instead, it landed heavily on the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's protective array. Boom. With an earth-shattering boom, the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's grand protective array collapsed. 5 consecutive explosions occurred on the Qilin Peak and the other 4 peaks. Smoke and dust filled the air. This was the explosion of the Grand Protective Formation's foundation. The people controlling the Grand Protective Formation were either killed or injured. Countless people on the Mystic Essence Sword Sect were dumbfounded as they looked at Xueqiao in fear. Heavens! The Great Sect Protecting Formation is broken. It was broken in one move. How can he be so strong? Is this the power of a king? Countless people cried out in shock. Lin Shui, Ling Padian, Hua Qi, and the others looked at Xueqiao with fear in their eyes. He was too strong. They were like ants in front of such power. Not only them, but even Qiu Weiyang and the experts of the Sun Corps looked at Xueqiao with reverence. A king was beyond the scope of ordinary people. Ah, what kind of array is this? It can't even block one move from my senior brother. Qiu Changkong laughed. Everyone listen up. Prepare for battle. Lin Shui roared. At this point, what else could he do? They could only fight. You want to fight with me? You're not even enough for me to kill. How about this? I'll give you a chance. As long as you surrender, I'll spare your life. How about it? Who wants to surrender? Xueqiao sneered as his gaze swept across the entire Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Some people's eyes flickered. They were obviously tempted. People of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, listen up. We'd rather die than live in dishonor. If we surrender, we'll be cursed for thousands of years. I'd rather die than surrender. Lin Shui roared. People of the Crimson Cloud Valley would also rather die than surrender. Ling Patian also roared. People of the royal family will never surrender. Hua Qi also shouted. Ha, good, very good. Since that's the case, I'll give you a few days to consider. If you want to surrender, you can come and find me. If you don't surrender when the time is up, I'll kill you without mercy. When he said the last sentence, a terrifying killing intent erupted from Xue Chao's body and enveloped the entire place. Many people shuddered. Surround the entire Mystic Essence Sword sect. Don't let anyone escape. Xue Chao ordered Qiu Wuyang. Qiu Wuyang quickly nodded. Then, Xue Chao turned around and came to Qiu Changkong's side. If Lu Ming is still alive, he'll definitely come when he hears the news. We'll give Lu Ming a few days to come here and die. Xue Chao whispered to Qiu Changkong. Senior brother is wise. With master's arrangement, if Lu Ming is still alive and comes here, he'll also die. I really hope that he's still alive and can come here. I'll kill his family and friends in front of him and make him regret offending me. Chapter 480. They had surrounded the Mystic Essence Sword sect but did not kill them because they were waiting for Lu Ming to arrive. Moreover, Xue Chao and Qiu Changkong hated and feared Lu Ming at the same time. They would not be at ease until they confirmed that Lu Ming was dead. Rumble. The Solar Legion and the Decimo Sword Sect's legions spread out and surrounded the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Xue Chao waved his hand and a jade table and a few jade chairs appeared. The table and chairs floated in the air and Xue Chao sat on one of the chairs. Qiu Changkong immediately took out a pot of wine and poured a cup for Xue Chao. He also poured a cup for himself and accompanied Xue Chao as they waited. Lin Shui and the others had ugly expressions on their faces. They're trying to use psychological warfare to force those with weak wills to surrender. They're trying to humiliate us. Hua Qi said in a deep voice. The other party had a martial king expert and could easily crush them. However, they were not doing anything. In their opinion, they were trying to humiliate them. Sigh. Lin Shui sighed. Even if they knew, what could they do? They were not as strong as the other party. Stay at your post and wait for any changes. Lin Shui ordered. He sat cross-legged in front of the mountain gate and stared at Qiu Changkong and the others. Then Ling Patian, Hua Qi, and the other higher-ups also sat cross-legged in front of the mountain gate. Remember, if you want to live, surrender now. It'll be too late by the time I change my mind. Xue Chao drank his wine and his cold voice spread throughout the Mystic Essence Sword sect. In the Mystic Essence Sword sect, many people had different expressions. Some people were filled with righteous indignation and were ready to die. Some people's eyes flickered and wandered. Time passed slowly and the atmosphere in the Mystic Essence Sword sect became more and more oppressive. I surrender. I choose to surrender. Suddenly, someone ran out from the foot of the mountain and shouted loudly. A middle-aged man ran out frantically. It's a deacon of the White Tiger Institute. Damn it, he's been with the Duanmu family for too long. He's a traitor. A golden-robed elder roared. Good. We won't kill him if he surrenders. Sect leader Qiu, he'll be part of the Decimo Sword sect from now on. Xue Chao laughed. Yes. Qiu Changkong nodded. I surrender too. I want to surrender too. At this time, more people shouted and ran outside. There were more than 10 people. Traitor, damn traitor. Someone roared. The crowd could tell that these people were originally from the White Tiger Hall. It's good that they're gone. Lin Shui said. Then, everyone fell silent. However, the atmosphere in the Mystic Essence Sword sect became even more oppressive. The first day passed just like that. Apart from the dozen or so people who had surrendered from the White Tiger Hall, no one else surrendered. On the second day, the people's hearts became even more unstable. Some people became more and more anxious. This was like waiting for death. Who could endure it? Although Lin Shui and the others knew, there was nothing they could do. The third day. I surrender. I surrender. On the third day, someone finally shouted and rushed out of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. This time, it wasn't limited to the White Tiger courtyard. People from the other courtyards also began to rush out of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. There were bronze-ranked disciples, silver-ranked disciples, and even elders. Alas! Lin Shui sighed, as if she had aged a lot in an instant. In the blink of an eye, it was the fourth day. On the fourth day, the number of people who surrendered suddenly increased greatly. I surrender! The people who were shouting to surrender were all over the place. There were at least a few thousand people. There were people from the Mystic Essence Sword sect, Crimson Cloud Valley, and the Imperial family. Damn it, traitor, damn traitor. Ling Patian flew into a rage. He wanted to rush out and kill those who surrendered. However, the number of people who surrendered continued to increase. On the fourth day, there were close to 4,000 people who surrendered. On the fifth day, there were fewer people who surrendered, but there were still about 1,000 people who surrendered. On the sixth day, Xue Chao suddenly slammed the table heavily. More than 5 days have passed, and Lu Ming still hasn't come. In my opinion, Lu Ming is already dead. Xue Chao said, "Senior brother, why don't we wait a few more days? What if Lu Ming isn't dead?" Qiu Changkong said. He was afraid of Lu Ming from the bottom of his heart. "Junior brother, what are you afraid of? Let's attack first and take them all down. It won't be too late to wait," Xue Chao said. Then, all right, let's do as senior brother said. Qiu Changkong nodded. Shua. Xue Chao stood up and took a step forward. Bang. At this moment, Lin Shui suddenly stood up, and a powerful aura erupted from her body. "Who will fight with me?" "Me!" Ling Patian roared. Me too!" Shangguan Ming, Yan Quan, and the other 2 half-step kings from the Mystic Essence Sword sect and Crimson Cloud Valley, as well as some golden-robed elders, all responded. Their auras erupted and gathered together, stirring up the wind and clouds. With a low roar, a tall figure appeared beside Lin Shui and the others. It was the Golden Eye Blood Zombie. Haha, mere half-step kings, and some ants who aren't even half-step kings, want to fight with me? You're overestimating yourselves. You're courting death. Xue Chao sneered. A dog like you dares to attack the Mystic Essence Sword sect? You're even more overestimating yourself. You're courting death. As Xue Chao's voice fell, another cold voice sounded. Hearing this voice, Xue Chao and Qiu Changkong's bodies shook violently as they cried out involuntarily, "Lu Ming." As for Lin Shui, Hua Qi, and the others, their bodies also shook violently as they cried out, "Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming." Everyone couldn't help but look toward the source of the voice. In the distant sky, a bolt of lightning flashed and flew over. Too fast, it was really too fast. A moment ago, it was at least a few dozen li away, but in the next moment, it was right in front of them. With a flash of lightning, a handsome figure appeared in the sky. If it wasn't Lu Ming, who else could it be? Good, I've made it. Lu Ming's gaze swept over, and he immediately felt relieved. In these 5 days, he hadn't slept or rested as he madly rushed over. He had finally made it. "Lu Ming, why did you come alone? The other side has a king. Hurry up and leave, and report this matter to the upper echelons of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace." Lin Shui hurriedly cried out. "That's right. Lu Ming, hurry up and leave." As Emperor Heaven Divine Guards, they actually abused their authority and mobilized the Blood Zhao Empire's army. This is against the rules of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. As long as you report this, I don't think they will dare to do anything to us. Hua Qi also cried out. The other side had a king, and Lu Ming wasn't their opponent at all. It was better to leave first and report the situation to the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. Lu Ming was an Eastern Sky Divine Guard, and his status wasn't something they could compare to. As long as he reported the situation, the upper echelons of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace would definitely pay attention to it. It's fine. Lu Ming waved his hand slightly, and Lin Shui and the others quieted down. Unknowingly, Lu Ming already had great prestige in the hearts of Lin Shui and the rest. Chapter 481. As soon as he said that, Xue Chao and Qiu Changkong's faces darkened. "How dare you insult my master? You're courting death." Xue Chao shouted. "Insult your master? I called him an old dog because I think highly of him. Today, I'll kill you first and then kill that old dog in the future," Lu Ming said coldly. Lin Shui and the others were stunned when they heard that. Although they didn't know who Xue Chao's master was, Xue Chao himself was a king. Therefore, they knew that Xue Chao's master was definitely extraordinary. Moreover, what did Lu Ming just say? Kill Xue Chao? Kill a king? They couldn't wrap their heads around it. "Ha, Lu Ming, you want to kill me? You're the one who's going to die today." Xue Chao laughed maniacally. "Is that so?" Lu Ming sneered and took a step forward toward Xue Chao. "Lu Ming, don't be afraid of me. I'll let you have a taste of my new ultimate skill, the Immortal Lightning Slash." Xue Chao roared and a battle sword that was flickering with lightning appeared in his hand. The aura of a martial king erupted from his body. He became one with the sword and turned into a lightning sword light that charged toward Lu Ming. "Be careful!" Lin Shui and the others shouted in horror. However, it was too late. The sword light arrived in front of Lu Ming in an instant. It was too fast. At that moment, they were in despair. They thought that Lu Ming would most likely die under the sword. However, what happened next petrified them. With one hand behind his back, Lu Ming used his other hand to slap him. Then, Xue Chao's attack, sword chi, and lightning were all defeated in an instant. Slap. A loud slap resounded throughout the entire Mystic Essence Sword sect. Lu Ming's slap landed on Xue Chao's face. Xue Chao flew a few thousand meters away and spun a few hundred times in the air before coming to a stop. One side of his face was swollen like a pig's head. Not a single tooth was left in his mouth, and blood was flowing down his face continuously. However, Xue Chao didn't seem to have any reaction to this. His eyes were wide open as he looked at Lu Ming with a dumbfounded expression. Qiu Changkong was stunned, Qiu Wiang was stunned, and so were the experts of the Solar Legion. On the Mystic Essence Sword sect's side, Lin Shui, Ling Padian, Hua Qi, Yan Quan, and the others were completely dumbfounded. The entire place was silent. Everyone stared at this scene with their mouths agape. Xue Chao was a king-level figure. 5 days ago, Xue Chao had destroyed the Mystic Essence Sword sect's grand formation with a casual slash of his sword. His strength made people despair. But now, such a powerful king had unleashed all his strength to kill Lu Ming, but Lu Ming had sent him flying with a slap as though he was a chick. What was going on? How was this possible? Everyone's brains seemed to have short-circuited, unable to react for a moment. Martial King, Lu Ming, you actually broke through to the Martial King realm. After a while, Xue Chao finally let out a hysterical scream. His voice was filled with disbelief. How long had it been? Lu Ming had broken through to the Martial King realm. He simply couldn't accept it. After all, he had been a half-step king for several years, accumulating strength for several years before he was lucky enough to break through. But now, how long had it been since Lu Ming had broken through? Monster, he's a monster. Xue Chao felt his heart trembling as he emitted endless fear. What? Xue Chao's scream ignited the entire Mystic Essence Sword sect. What? Lu Ming, he broke through to the Martial King realm? Martial King, ha! My Mystic Essence Sword sect finally has a Martial King. Hey, Lu Ming has already left the Mystic Essence Sword sect. I don't care, I'm sure he's from the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Such a young Martial King, this is unbelievable. We're saved now. Regardless of whether it was the disciples of the Mystic Essence Sword sect or the Crimson Cloud Valley, they were so happy that they were about to lose their minds. They only knew how to shout crazily to express the ecstasy and excitement in their hearts. Among them, there were even many old elders who were the same. As for Lin Shui, Ling Padian, and the other higher-ups, they were not any better. They were all trembling with excitement. Martial King, Lu Ming has broken through to the Martial King realm. Lin Shui roared, his voice trembling. If Lu Ming could break through to the Martial King realm in the future, he would not be surprised. But now, Lu Ming had broken through to the Martial King realm. This was simply too shocking. How old was Lu Ming? Not even 20 years old, right? A martial king younger than 20 years old had never appeared in the Cloud Emperor mountain range. How is this possible? How is this possible? Let's go, let's go. Qiu Changkong screamed. He was scared out of his wits. He frantically flew away, as far as possible from Lu Ming. Lu Ming was simply going to become his nightmare. Qiu Changkong, you have nowhere to go today. Lu Ming looked coldly at Qiu Changkong. Qiu Changkong's body was emitting cold air. He was so scared that he almost wet himself. At this moment, boom, boom. Suddenly, 5 auras burst out from the army of the Shifang sword sect. Each of the 5 auras was boundless and as heavy as a mountain. These 5 auras were all of the auras of martial kings. Moreover, each of them was much stronger than Xue Chao's. In particular, one of them was extremely terrifying. It was vast and mighty, like a surging ocean. The terrifying pressure covered the entire area. Many of the weaker cultivators fell to the ground. Then, 5 figures stepped out and floated in the air. They were 5 muscular men. They were extremely burly and their muscles were as solid as steel. The man in the middle had a single eye. He was the one who had released the most terrifying aura. 2 of them are early stage and 2 of them are mid-stage martial king. The middle-aged man has reached early stage martial king realm. Lu Ming's eyes flickered as he saw through the man's cultivation. Lin Shui and the others opened their eyes wide in fear. Martial kings, more martial kings. Moreover, 5 martial kings had appeared at once. Judging from their auras, each of them was much stronger than Xue Chao. How could this be? The Blazing Sun Empire had not produced a martial king for thousands of years. Even Lin Shui and the others, who were half-step martial kings, had only seen a few martial kings in their lives. But what was going on today? Why were there martial kings appearing one after another? What was the purpose of these martial kings? Lin Shui and the others had a bad feeling in their hearts. Lu Ming, you can't kill anyone today. On the contrary, today is your doomsday. At this moment, the one-eyed man in the middle spoke. His voice was filled with killing intent. Lin Shui and the others were shocked. Were these martial kings here to kill Lu Ming? Who are you? Lu Ming's eyes were calm as he asked indifferently. Hee, you don't need to know who we are. You only need to know that we are here to kill you. The one-eyed man let out a hollow laugh. Hee, do you really think I don't know if you don't tell me? It's none other than that old dog, the Thunder Hall leader. That old dog is so cunning. In order to kill me, he has set up a series of traps and sent so many martial kings here, including a 3rd-layer martial king expert. Chapter 482. Now, how could Lu Ming not understand? Since he had accepted the mission, it had been a series of traps. While he was doing the mission, Song Ku and the bald man had been bribed by the Thunder Hall Master to kill him. It would be best if they could kill Lu Ming during the mission. If Lu Ming did not die, they would tell Lu Ming about Qiu Changkong and Xue Chao attacking the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Lu Ming would definitely rush back at all costs. Furthermore, the Thunder Hall Master had already placed experts here, waiting for Lu Ming to take the bait and kill him in one fell swoop. It was a series of traps, one after another. Their goal was to put Lu Ming to death. After hearing this, the one-eyed man and the others laughed coldly, but did not say anything. It was a tacit agreement. Lu Ming, let's see how arrogant you are now. Today is the day you die. When Qiu Changkong saw the appearance of the one-eyed man and the others, he finally stopped running away. He gathered his courage and looked at Lu Ming with disdain as he burst out laughing. Kill him for me. No, don't kill him yet. Beat him until he is crippled. I want to kill all his friends and family in front of him. I want him to watch his family die in front of him. I want him to regret it and die in regret. Xue Chao yelled crazily. After being tortured by Lu Ming time and time again, his hatred for Lu Ming had penetrated deep into his bones. If you 2 dogs don't run now, you won't have the chance later. Lu Ming glanced coldly at Qiu Changkong and Xue Chao. The 2 of them could not help but feel a chill in their hearts. However, when they thought about the presence of the one-eyed man and the others, their courage was boosted. So what if Lu Ming had broken through to the Martial Emperor realm? He had just broken through to the Martial Emperor realm. The difference between each layer of the Martial Emperor realm was huge. No matter how strong Lu Ming was, it was impossible for him to fight against the one-eyed man who was 2 layers above him. Furthermore, with the help of the other 4 experts, Lu Ming was doomed. Lu Ming cut the crap. The one-eyed man exuded an astonishing aura. Big brother, he's just a brat who just broke through to Martial King. Why would he need you to take action? I'd like to see what kind of ability this Eastern Sky Divine Guard has. Another large man walked out, holding a spear in his hand, showing off his sharpness. That's fine. 5th brother, you go first. Let's see what skills this Eastern Sky Divine Guard has. Some people are very strong in the Martial Ancestor realm, but after breaking through to the Martial King realm, they become ordinary. Therefore, just because the Martial Ancestor realm is strong, it doesn't mean that after breaking through to the Martial King realm, their battle prowess will remain strong. The one-eyed man said, even if Lu Ming is a genius, he can still fight those above his level. That great Han Dynasty cultivator is only at the early stage of the 2nd layer Martial King realm, so he should be able to protect himself. The one-eyed man thought. Good. The burly man strode towards Lu Ming. The aura on his body was incomparably violent. He coldly shouted, Lu Ming, die. The long spear in the burly man's hand was thrust forward. A sharp spear pierced through the air, aiming at Lu Ming. Since you're courting death, I'll send you on your way first. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. True Dragon Strike. Lu Ming thrust his spear forward, and a tricolored true dragon lunged forward with a furious roar. Bang! The spear of the burly man was shattered by the tricolored true dragon's claw. The tricolored true dragon did not stop there, and continued to lunge at the burly man. 5th brother, watch out! The one-eyed man yelled. However, it was too late. The tricolored true dragon fiercely collided with the burly man's body. The burly man let out a blood-curdling scream as his body was sent flying backward like a broken sack. Blood spurted out from his body in midair. He was severely injured in one move. Die! A thunderbolt spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. With a wave, the thunderbolt spear turned into a flash of lightning, thrusting toward the burly man. It was too fast for the burly man to dodge. The thunderbolt spear pierced through the burly man's chest, leaving a large hole. Big brother, avenge me! The burly man did not die immediately. He let out a blood-curdling scream before his life was cut off. 5th brother! 5th brother! The remaining 4 burly men let out blood-curdling screams one after another. In the Mystic Essence Sword sect, Lin Shui and the others were dumbfounded. Although the Martial King realm was beyond their knowledge, judging from their auras, they knew that the 5 burly men were extremely terrifying experts. Any one of them was several times stronger than Xue Chaoqiang. However, such powerful experts, such existences that they had to look up to, were killed by Lu Ming in just 2 moves. Lu Ming's combat strength was simply beyond their imagination. Heavens, how long has it been? Lu Ming has already grown to this stage. Indeed, the Blazing Sun Empire is too small. It's like a quagmire, and Lu Ming is a true dragon. Only when a true dragon leaves the quagmire can it soar to the 9 heavens and display its true brilliance. The ancestor of the Ghost Moon Saber sect, Shangguan Ming, muttered to himself. On the other hand, Qiu Changkong and Xue Chao were the complete opposite. Their faces were pale and bloodless. Especially Xue Chao, who was drenched in cold sweat. If Lu Ming wanted to kill him just now, he would have been dead already. When he thought of this, he shuddered. How can this be? How can Lu Ming's combat strength be so strong? But how did he cultivate? Heavens, why are you so unfair? Why am I not the one who is so strong? Qiu Changkong stared at Lu Ming with jealousy as he roared in his heart. Lu Ming, how dare you kill my 5th brother? You deserve to die, you deserve to die. Let's attack together and tear Lu Ming into pieces. Don't let any of his family members go. The one-eyed burly man roared. Kill! The other burly men's eyes were bloodshot as they emitted a cold killing intent. A long spear appeared in each of their hands. Bush, bush. The 4 burly men joined forces and unleashed shocking means to assassinate Lu Ming. You will be the ones to die. Lu Ming shouted and waved his hand. Between heaven and earth, endless power of thunder and lightning gathered and condensed into a long spear. This long spear of thunder and lightning exuded a terrifying thunder concept. Thunder and lightning flashed, just like the power of heaven. The experts of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, Sun Core, and Decimo Sword Sect, such as Qiu Weiyang, widened their eyes and stared at Lu Ming. Under this pressure, it was as if they were facing the might of the heavens. Their bodies trembled and they almost knelt down. Is this Lu Ming's strength? They thought with trembling hearts. Level 1 lesser success lightning intent. Impossible. Didn't you just break through to the martial king realm? How is this possible? The one-eyed burly man roared in horror. Lu Ming did not bother to talk nonsense with them. He shouted and thrust his long spear out. Bush, bush. For spear radiances instantly pierced through the void and stabbed towards the 4 burly men. Bam, 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 bam. For explosions sounded and the attacks of the 4 burly men were destroyed at the same time. The lightning spear did not stop and continued to pierce through. Following which, 3 blood-curdling screams were heard. Apart from the one-eyed burly man, the other 3 burly men followed in the footsteps of the previous man. Their chests were pierced by the lightning spear and their hearts were burnt by the power of the lightning. 2nd brother, 3rd brother, 4th brother. Although the one-eyed burly man had escaped death, he coughed up large mouthfuls of blood and screamed. Big brother, leave quickly. This man is monstrous. You are no match for him. One of the burly men roared before he breathed his last. Lu Ming, I will fight you to the death. Chapter 483. The one-eyed man did not try to escape. Instead, he charged towards Lu Ming. Swoosh! Zhan Mao streaked across the sky and instantly traversed a distance of a few thousand meters, charging toward Lu Ming. On the other side, Xue Chao and Qiu Changkong were screaming in fear as they flew away. They did not dare to stay any longer. In their eyes, Lu Ming was a devil. It's too late to run. Lu Ming sneered. With a thought, the demon-banishing spear appeared in his hand. Extreme Dao Strike. Swoosh! Man and spear became one, forming the Extreme Dao Strike. Puchi! When Lu Ming's figure appeared, there was also a big hole in the chest of the one-eyed burly man. Lu Ming unleashed his most powerful attack and killed the one-eyed burly man in seconds. The 9 dragons' bloodline appeared and sucked in the blood essence of the one-eyed man and the others. Lu Ming devoured all of them. Immediately after, Lu Ming took a step forward and chased after Xue Chao. In the next moment, he appeared in front of Xue Chao. I know. Xue Chao was so scared that he almost peed his pants. His face was pale as he retreated frantically. Xue Chao, I said that you will die today. Lu Ming's eyes were cold and filled with killing intent. No, Lu Ming, don't kill me. If you kill me, my master will not let you go. It won't do you any good. Xue Chao screamed in fear. Don't worry. It won't be long before that old dog, Palace Master Lei, will accompany you. Lu Ming said coldly. Soon after, he stabbed out with his spear. Xue Chao roared crazily and used all of his strength to block the attack. However, it was all in vain. Lu Ming's spear pierced through and all of his resistance turned into ashes. Blood splattered as Xue Chao was pierced through by the spear. Xue Chao was dead. At the same time, Xue Chao's blood essence was devoured by Lu Ming. His storage ring was also taken away by Lu Ming. With a turn of his body, Lu Ming disappeared. Run, run, run. Qiu Changkong's face was pale, and his lips were trembling. But in the next moment, a figure appeared in front of him. Lu Ming, don't kill me. Qiu Changkong roared. His body trembled uncontrollably, and cold sweat trickled down his face. Don't worry, I won't kill you. Lu Ming said coldly. Just as Qiu Changkong was overjoyed, Lu Ming continued, because the person who killed you shouldn't be me. Bang. Lu Ming directly kicked out at Qiu Changkong's dantian. Violent energy surged into Qiu Changkong's dantian, directly dispersing the cyclone. Qiu Changkong's cultivation base was crippled. Lu Ming, you crippled my cultivation. You crippled my cultivation. You bastard, you bastard. Qiu Changkong screamed in despair. Nonsense. Lu Ming gave Qiu Changkong a slap, sending him flying dozens of miles away to the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Take him down. Lin Shui shouted excitedly. Immediately, an expert flew out and took Qiu Changkong down. Retreat, retreat. At this moment, Qiu Wuyang and the experts of the Sun Corps were all scared out of their wits. They screamed crazily, wanting to retreat. But how could an army move so quickly? Today, none of you will be able to leave. Lu Ming's figure appeared in the sky above the Sun Corps. King, please spare us. We are from the Great Sun Prefecture, and our old ancestor is also a king. An armored general roared. But what answered him was Lu Ming's punch. This punch contained an endless amount of power of thunder, and it exploded out directly. Sizzle, countless lightning bolts flickered in the sky. Below, the soldiers of the Sun Corps screamed. In an instant, at least a few thousand soldiers of the Sun Corps were killed by the lightning bolts. Including the few half-step kings, they were all killed. Attack! Everyone attack! Annihilate the omnidirectional sword sect and the Sun Corps. Lin Shui roared. Everyone attack! Ling Padian also roared. Shua! Shua! Figures rushed out from the Mystic Essence Sword sect and charged towards the omnidirectional sword sect and the Sun Corps. Kill! In addition, those martial artists below the martial ancestor realm also roared furiously and charged out of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. How could this be? The sect master of the omnidirectional sword sect, Qiu Wuyang, let out a mournful wail before running away. As for the rest of the omnidirectional sword sect, he couldn't care less about them. Even if everyone died, how could it compare to his life? But suddenly, a figure appeared in front of him. Lu Ming! Qiu Wuyang roared in horror. Lu Ming didn't bother to talk nonsense with him. He kicked Qiu Wuyang's dantian, and Qiu Wuyang immediately followed in Qiu Changkong's footsteps. Sizzle! Lu Ming clenched his fist in the air and dozens of lightning spears appeared. The next moment they shot out. In the army of the omnidirectional sword sect and the Sun Corps, all martial artists above the 9th martial ancestor realm were pierced by the lightning spears and killed. After killing these people, Lu Ming didn't attack again. He stood quietly in the air and began to refine the blood essence of the one-eyed man and the others. Once the higher-ups of the omnidirectional sword sect and the Sun Corps died, the rest were like a sheet of loose sand. They were no match for Lin Shui and the others. It was a one-sided massacre. Therefore, there was no need for Lu Ming to attack. Rumble! The blood essence of the one-eyed man and the others was extremely rich. Lu Ming converted half of it into true essence and used the other half to upgrade the second bloodline. After a while, the second bloodline shook and the 6th silver chakra appeared. The second bloodline also upgraded to the 6th level of the king class. After a while, the second bloodline reached the limit of the 6th level of the king class. Lu Ming's cultivation also improved a little and reached the peak of the early stage of the martial king realm. 1 LV3 martial king, for LV2 martial king, and 1 LV1 martial king can only improve my cultivation by a little. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. It seemed that he would need more resources to break through to the martial king class and improve his cultivation. Not far away, battle cries shook the sky, but it was a completely one-sided situation. Soon, the battle cries died down. Only a few of the people of the omnidirectional sword sect and the Sun Corps escaped. Most of them were killed, especially the higher-ups of the omnidirectional sword sect and the Sky Demon sect. This time, in order to annihilate the Mystic Essence Sword sect in one fell swoop, the 10 Direction Sword sect had sent out 90% of their experts, and the Heaven Fiend sect had sent out 80% of their experts, but all of them had been annihilated in the battle, including the sect leaders of the Omnidirectional Sword sect and the Sky Demon sect. At this moment, a roar was heard. Lu Ming looked over. Golden-eyed. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. At this moment, the golden-eyed blood zombie was wrapped in an extremely rich blood qi. The blood qi gathered and formed a huge blood cocoon in the air. Golden-eyed blood essence has also absorbed the blood of the one-eyed man and the others. It seems that it's going to evolve again after absorbing the blood of a king-class expert. Lu Ming's lips curled into a faint smile. Bush. At this moment, Lin Shui, Ling Padian, Shengguan Ming, Yan Quan, and the others appeared not far from Lu Ming. Greetings, Lord King. Lin Shui wanted to call out to Lu Ming, but she quickly reacted and bowed with cupped fists. Greetings, Lord King. Chapter 484. In the world of martial arts, strength was the most important. The stronger one was the higher one's status. It had nothing to do with seniority. At this moment, Lin Shui and the others looked at Lu Ming with respect and awe. King. The Blazing Sun Empire had finally given birth to another king. Moreover, he was so young. They were trembling with excitement. 5 days ago, Xue Chao had displayed his king's strength and destroyed the Mystic Essence Sword sect protection array. How powerful was that? They were already in despair. However, they did not expect that the moment Lu Ming appeared, the situation would be completely reversed. With Bai Ni Tianxia's spirit, he had defeated his opponent. In the crowd, Yan Quan had mixed feelings. In his mind, the various situations of the Mo family in the Yin Moon Empire appeared in his mind. At that time, Lu Ming was so weak. Compared to him, the difference was like heaven and earth. However, after a short while, the situation had completely reversed. Now Lu Ming was much stronger than him. This is the legendary supreme talent. I didn't expect to meet him. Yan Quan sighed. Let's return to the mountain gate. Lu Ming said. Outside the Mystic Essence Sword sect, there were naturally many people dealing with the aftermath. As for Lu Ming and the others, they had already returned to the mountain gate. Lu Ming, I beg you, let me go. Please let me go. As soon as Lu Ming returned to the mountain gate, Qiu Changkong begged hysterically. At this moment, Qiu Changkong's cultivation had been crippled and all his meridians were broken. He was even worse than an ordinary person. He lay on the ground and begged miserably. Changkong, what's there to beg for? The winner takes all. The worst that can happen is death. Qiu Weiyang was similar to Qiu Changkong, but he was much more stubborn. He sat on the ground and shouted coldly. Shut up, old man. It's all because of you. I, Qiu Changkong, was a genius and had a bright future. It's all because of your ambition that I offended Lu Ming and ended up like this. It's all because of you, old man. Hurry up and die. Qiu Changkong stared at Qiu Weiyang and shouted crazily. Qiu Weiyang stared blankly at Qiu Changkong. He could not believe that Qiu Changkong would talk to him like that. Lu Ming, it's all because of this old man. It's all because of this old man. He was the one who instigated me. If you want to kill someone, kill him. I'm innocent. Qiu Changkong shouted. Really? Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. He then moved and flew toward a mountain peak behind the Mystic Essence Sword sect. There was a small mountain behind the Mystic Essence Sword sect. On top of the mountain, there was a courtyard where Lu Yuntian and Li Ping lived. Brother Tianming, should be back. Will he be all right? Li Ping said worriedly. Just now, Qiu Changkong and the others had shouted Lu Ming's name, and it had spread throughout the entire Mystic Essence Sword sect. Naturally, they had also heard it. Ming is a prodigy. He should be fine. Don't worry. Lu Yuntian consoled. Although he said that, his eyes were filled with worry. The battle just now was too shocking. It was as if the heavens were shaking and the earth was shaking. It was like the end of the world. This kind of scene had already exceeded the scope of their understanding. Therefore, they couldn't help but worry that Lu Ming had encountered an unimaginable enemy. Master, madam. At this moment, a burly man rushed in. How is it? How's the situation? Li Ping asked anxiously. Master, madam, it's a great victory. Young Master Lu Ming has returned and killed his opponent. Now, Shifang Sword Sect is almost destroyed. The burly man said excitedly. Really? Lu Yuntian widened his eyes in shock. In his heart, Shifang Sword Sect was an invincible force that dominated the blazing Sun Empire. Now it was almost destroyed? How was that possible? Did Ming-Er do it? Lu Yuntian thought to himself. Old Master, Madam, there is another piece of great news. Young Master Lu Ming seems to have become a king. A high and mighty martial arts king. The burly man said excitedly. His voice was trembling as he spoke. What? Lu Yuntian and Li Ping were stunned. A martial king? Ming has become a martial king? After a while, they came to their senses. Their eyes were filled with disbelief and excitement. With their previous status, it was naturally impossible for them to come into contact with a martial king. It was even difficult for them to come into contact with a martial king. However, they had heard of the martial king many times. They were legendary figures who were like immortals that had the power to destroy the world. They had a lifespan of thousands of years and could overlook the changes in the world. There hadn't been a martial king in the blazing Sun Empire for thousands of years. Now, their son had become such a figure? They thought they were dreaming. Lu Chun is it true? Lu Yuntian's voice was trembling. He used to be a real martial artist, so he knew what it meant to be a martial king. In the past, Lu Yuntian had worked hard to reach the martial king realm. As for the martial king realm, he didn't even dare to think about it. Now, his son, Lu Ming, had reached it? It's true. There's no doubt about it. The burly man said firmly. Buzz. At this moment, the space trembled, and a figure emerged. They were shocked, but when they took a closer look, they couldn't help but be ecstatic. Mingter. Li Ping hurriedly walked in front of Lu Ming and looked at him carefully. In her eyes, whether Lu Ming was a martial king or not, it was the same. He was her son. Father, mother, is back to see you. Lu Ming said. Ming, you broke through to the martial king realm. Lu Yuntian asked with a trembling voice. He looked at Lu Ming expectantly. Father, I was lucky to break through 5 days ago. Lu Ming scratched his head and said, you really broke through to the martial king realm. That's great. My son is a martial king, and such a young one. After receiving Lu Ming's confirmation, Lu Yuntian was extremely excited and laughed loudly. He was even happier than when he broke through to the martial king realm. Father, I'm here today to ask you about an old matter. Lu Ming said. An old matter? Lu Yuntian was puzzled. Father, mother, come with me. Lu Ming waved his hand and a true essence light screen enveloped Lu Yuntian and Li Ping. Then, he turned into a bolt of lightning and disappeared in a flash. In the next moment, they appeared in front of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. So fast? Lu Yuntian and Li Ping were shocked. That mountain was dozens of miles away from the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, but they arrived in an instant. In their eyes, such means were no different from the means of a god. But this person was their son, so they were even happier. Greetings, Master Lu, Madam Lu. Lin Shui and the others hurriedly bowed when they saw Lu Yuntian and Li Ping. They didn't dare to slight them. Sect Leader Lin, seniors, you're too polite. Lu Yuntian bowed back. Chiu Changkong? Chapter 485. Lu Yun, no, old Master Lu, oh no, Uncle Lu, I beg you, please spare me Chiu Changkong screamed hysterically when he saw Lu Yuntian. Chiu Changkong, you still have the face to ask me to spare you? You've finally fallen to this state, the heavens have eyes Lu Yuntian laughed loudly. Uncle Lu, it was my fault in the past. I was blinded by greed. I was wrong please spare my dog life for the sake of my ignorance. Chiu Changkong wailed again and again, tears and snot dripping down his face. Lu Ming admired Chiu Changkong for this. Tears and snot flowed down his face as he wished. Chiu Changkong, shut up. You're a disgrace to my Chiu family. Chiu Wuyang bellowed from the side. Old man, you're the one who should shut up. What is the Chiu family? How much is it worth? Don't mention the Chiu family to me. Chiu Changkong shouted. You Qiu Weiyang almost vomited blood from anger. His chest heaved up and down as disappointment filled his eyes. Was this still the Qiu family's once-in-a-thousand-years genius? What a disgrace. Old man. Suddenly, Qiu Changkong's eyes hardened. He struggled to get up, took out a dagger from his robe, and walked towards Qiu Weiyang. Lu Ming, Lin Shui, and the others' eyes flickered, but they did not make a move. Bastard, what are you trying to do? Qiu Weiyang roared. What am I trying to do? It's all your fault, go to hell. Qiu Changkong's eyes flashed with ruthlessness as the dagger in his hand pierced towards Qiu Weiyang. Qiu Weiyang roared and rolled to the side, dodging the dagger. However, Qiu Changkong immediately followed up with another stab. This time, Qiu Weiyang couldn't avoid it. The dagger pierced through his back, causing blood to spurt out. Bastard, you bastard! Qiu Weiyang screamed. His eyes were filled with despair, unwillingness, and disbelief. He couldn't believe that Qiu Changkong would kill him. In the end, he let out an unwilling roar and breathed his last breath. At the side, Lin Shui, Ling Padian, and the others had complicated expressions in their eyes. Qiu Weiyang, the overlord of the Burning Sun Empire, the half-step king of his generation, the hero who had almost unified the entire Burning Sun Empire, was killed by the junior he thought highly of. It was truly tragic. Lu Ming, Uncle Lu, look, I'm truly remorseful. I've even killed Qiu Weiyang. I beg you, please let me go. Qiu Changkong knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. Even the heavens wouldn't allow me to spare someone like you. Lu Yuntian's eyes flashed with murderous intent. Bush. Lu Ming flicked his finger and condensed his true essence into 4 long spears. They flew out and nailed Qiu Changkong's limbs to the ground. Qiu Changkong let out a miserable shriek. Lu Ming waved his hand and a battle sword appeared. He said, Father, I'll leave Qiu Changkong's life to you. Lu Yuntian was once captured by Qiu Changkong and tortured for 8 years. In this world, the one who should kill Qiu Changkong the most was Lu Yuntian. Moreover, Lu Ming also knew that Lu Yuntian had a knot in his heart. All right. Lu Yuntian took the battle sword and strode towards Qiu Changkong. No, Uncle Lu, don't kill me. Qiu Changkong was still begging for mercy. Shut up, Uncle Lu. You're not worthy to call me that. Lu Yuntian snorted and slashed out with his battle sword. Qiu Weiyang's head flew high into the air. After killing Qiu Changkong with a single slash, Lu Yuntian seemed to be relieved of a heavy burden and let out a long sigh. Ming, I thank you for letting me kill Qiu Changkong. Lu Yuntian said to Lu Ming. Father, you and I are father and son. There's no need to thank me. This is what I should do. Unfortunately, I still couldn't find a treasure that can help you recover. Lu Ming sighed. Ming, there's no need to force yourself. Father is already very satisfied with your current achievements. Lu Yuntian laughed. Father, Mother, why don't I see the mid-autumn moon? Lu Ming asked curiously. From the very beginning, Lu Ming didn't see the mid-autumn moon. This was very strange. After such a big battle, the mid-autumn moon shouldn't have left Lu Yuntian and Li Ping's side. At the mention of the mid-autumn moon, Lu Yuntian and Li Ping's expressions changed slightly. Lu Ming naturally noticed the changes in their expressions and his heart skipped a beat. Could it be that something happened to the mid-autumn moon? Lu Ming couldn't help but feel anxious. Father, Mother, what happened to the mid-autumn moon? Lu Ming asked. Ming, don't worry. The mid-autumn moon is fine. Li Ping quickly said. Then why don't I see her? Sigh, this is a long story. Ming, let's go back to our residence first and talk about it in detail. Lu Yuntian sighed. All right. Then, Lu Ming waved his hand and returned to their residence with Lu Yuntian and Li Ping. The matters outside were temporarily left to Lin Shui and the rest. Back in the residence, Lu Ming, Lu Yuntian, and Li Ping sat down on the stone bench in the courtyard. Ming, 3 months ago, the mid-autumn moon left. Li Ping sighed. Her eyes were filled with reluctance. Left? Where did she go? Lu Ming asked. Ming, it's like this. About 3 months ago, a middle-aged woman suddenly appeared. She said that she took a fancy to the Mid-Autumn Moon's talent and that the Mid-Autumn Moon's bloodline was suitable to inherit her legacy. She wanted to take the Mid-Autumn Moon as her disciple and take her away from here. Lu Yuntian explained. There's such a thing? Lu Ming was a little surprised. Yes, according to the middle-aged woman, she was traveling the world to find a suitable successor to inherit her legacy. She found the Mid-Autumn Moon based on the resonance of the bloodline and insisted on taking the Mid-Autumn Moon as her disciple. In the beginning, we and the Mid-Autumn Moon didn't agree, but later on, the middle-aged woman displayed shocking means. With a wave of her hand, the day suddenly turned into night. The most shocking thing was that she could tear apart space and travel. It's simply the means of a deity. Seeing her incredible means, I decided to let the Mid-Autumn Moon follow her. After all, it's good for the Mid-Autumn Moon too. Lu Yuntian said. What? With a wave of her hand, the day turned into night and she could tear apart space? Lu Ming was shocked. What kind of means was this? It was too terrifying. Yes, but the Mid-Autumn Moon girl wanted to wait for your return and was unwilling to acknowledge you as her master. In the end, she was forcefully taken away by the middle-aged woman. Lu Yuntian said. Forcefully taken away? Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a trace of coldness. Yes, but Ming, you don't have to worry. I think that the middle-aged woman sincerely wants to take the Mid-Autumn Moon as her disciple. She shouldn't make things difficult for the Mid-Autumn Moon. Lu Yuntian said. Although Lu Ming said so, he still felt uncomfortable. Would he never see the Mid-Autumn Moon again? Father, Mother, did the other party leave any news? Did she say which sect she's from? Lu Ming asked. The other party only left a sentence, the only one above the divine wilderness. Lu Yuntian said. The only one above the divine wilderness? What does that mean? Chapter 486. Above the divine wilderness? Could it be above the divine wilderness? It was said that there were other continents above the divine wilderness, but that was too far away and was just a legend. Also, what did it mean to be the only one in the world? Lu Ming was puzzled. Ming, don't worry. Autumn Moon will be fine. When she's done cultivating, she might come back to find you. That girl can't bear to part with you. Seeing that Lu Ming was a little unhappy, Lu Yuntian comforted him. Dad, Mom, I'm fine. Lu Ming smiled and calmed himself down. Then he started chatting with Lu Yuntian and Li Ping. An hour later, Lu Ming bade farewell and left. Lu Ming strode into the meeting hall of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Lin Shui and the others were inside. When they saw Lu Ming enter, they quickly stood up and bowed. Greetings, King. We're all familiar with each other, so there's no need to be so polite. Hua Qi, I promised you that I would let you flatten the Shifang Sword Sect. Now the time has come. Lu Ming waved his hand and said directly. There was a look of ecstasy on Hua Qi's face. He came before Lu Ming and bowed deeply, saying, Brother Lu, I will definitely remember this in my heart and be eternally grateful. Hua Qi, with our relationship, there's no need to be so polite. Let's go, we'll go to the imperial capital and help you take back the imperial capital. Then we'll kill the Shifang Sword Sect. Lu Ming said. Let's go together. Lin Shui, Ling Padian and the others said. All right, sect leader Lin, Hua Qi and I will go first. You guys lead the experts above martial ancestor realm and follow behind. Lu Ming said. After all, Lin Shui and the others had to take care of the aftermath. With that, Lu Ming's true essence swirled and disappeared with Hua Qi. Gather the experts above martial ancestor realm and we'll set off. Lin Shui ordered. Lu Ming brought Hua Qi with him. Like lightning, they left the Mystic Essence Sword Sect and rushed toward the imperial capital. More than 10,000 miles away from the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, an army was rushing towards the sect at top speed. This army looked crimson red and had a terrifying aura. It was Lu Ming's crimson blood-scaled wolves. Bwr! Bwr! The scarlet blood-scaled wolves were howling. Every single one of them was covered in blood. Quick! Earlier, The Decimo Sword Sect's army of 100,000 and the Solar Legion broke through the encirclement and charged towards the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. They're using the other armies to delay us. They're definitely going to surround the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Hua Ying was extremely anxious and kept yelling. A lieutenant said, "Even if it's useless, we still have to go. The 8th prince is in the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Even if we die, we still have to go." Hua Ying scolded. "Yes, General," the lieutenant replied. What's that?" Suddenly, one of the lieutenants looked at the sky. Hua Ying and the others also looked over. At the end of the horizon, there was a bolt of lightning that was rapidly approaching them. In the next moment, the lightning arrived in the sky above them. When the lightning dissipated, 2 young figures appeared in the sky. That's the Marquis Champion? It's really the Marquis Champion. The Marquis Champion is back with the 8th prince. Cries of alarm rang out from the Qi Xie cavalry. Greetings to the Marquis Champion and the 8th prince. Hua Ying rushed into the sky and bowed. Greetings to the Marquis Champion and the 8th prince. All the scarlet blood-scaled wolves bowed to Lu Ming and Hua Qi. However, the first person they greeted was Lu Ming, followed by the 8th prince. The scarlet blood-scaled wolves were built by Lu Ming. In the hearts of the scarlet blood-scaled wolves, Lu Ming was the supreme existence. They immediately followed Lu Ming's orders. The scarlet blood-scaled wolves were Lu Ming's scarlet blood-scaled wolves, the Marquis Champion's scarlet blood-scaled wolves. Even though Hua Ying was a member of the imperial family, they still put Lu Ming first. "No need to be so polite." Lu Ming waved his hand. "Marquis Champion, 8th prince, it's great that you're fine. We're on our way to the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, but we didn't expect to meet you here. Could it be that the Mystic Essence Sword Sect has been defeated?" Hua Ying said with a dignified expression. He wondered if the Mystic Essence Sword Sect had been defeated and Lu Ming had rescued Hua Qi and broken out of the siege. "Yes, the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's battle is over." Hua Qi nodded. "What? The Mystic Essence Sword Sect has been annihilated?" Hua Ying's expression changed drastically. If that was really the case, then the situation was really over. With just the few of them, there was no way they could make any waves. They could only retreat to the border as soon as possible. "You're wrong. The Mystic Essence Sword Sect's battle is over. The Decimo Sword Sect and the Solar Corps were annihilated. The Marquis Champion and I are heading to the imperial capital to kill the traitor, sky-suppressing king." Hua Qi said. "What?" Hua Ying and the others were dumbfounded. They had never expected such an outcome. "I forgot to tell you that the Marquis Champion has reached the King Realm. How could those clowns from the Decimo Sword Sect be a match for the Marquis Champion?" Hua Qi said. "What? King?" All the scarlet blood-scaled wolves were stunned as they stared at Lu Ming with their eyes wide open. "King," this word seemed to have some kind of magical power, shocking all of them. After a while, all of them were trembling with excitement. They looked at Lu Ming with eyes full of crazy reverence. "The Marquis Champion is mighty. The Marquis Champion is invincible." Tens of thousands of scarlet blood-scaled wolves shouted crazily. They were extremely excited. Their general, their commander, had actually broken through to the King Realm. They were extremely excited. They were the army that Lu Ming had created. They shared honor and disgrace. Lu Ming's glory was their glory. They were naturally excited and excited. From now on, the scarlet blood-scaled wolves would not only be famous in the Burning Sun Empire, but also in the 36 countries of Emperor Yun. "Scarlet blood-scaled wolves, listen to my order," Lu Ming shouted. "Sir." Tens of thousands of scarlet blood-scaled wolves roared as they felt their blood boiling. "The 8th prince and I will head to the imperial capital first. You guys will follow us and attack the imperial capital," Lu Ming ordered. "Yes, attack the imperial capital," the scarlet blood-scaled wolves roared. "Let's go." Then, Lu Ming and Hua Qi continued their journey to the imperial capital. In the imperial capital, people were singing and dancing in the imperial palace. In the imperial garden of the imperial capital, Sky-suppressing king was wearing a dragon robe as he sat on the dragon throne. Beside him were a few beautiful concubines. Below him, Wuxia was wearing a dragon robe as he sat there with a bored expression on his face. Below him sat the civil and military officials. In the center of the imperial garden, many girls were dancing. Sky-suppressing king was enraptured. "Congratulations, your majesty. Right now, the Decimo Sword faction and the Sun Legion are attacking the Mystic Essence Sword sect. The Mystic Essence Sword sect will fall soon and the Burning Sun Empire will be unified. Your majesty will be the ruler of the Burning Sun Empire." A crafty-looking minister was trying to flatter Heavenly King Suppression. "Ha, you are right." Chapter 487. Then, the other officials started to flatter the Heavenly King one after another. The Heavenly King couldn't stop smiling. He felt like he was about to fly into the sky. Now that the Burning Sun Empire had no more suspense, his position as the Emperor of the Burning Sun Empire was more or less secured. Who cared if he was a puppet of the Decimo Sword faction? As long as he was sitting on the throne, he could enjoy himself without restraint. Heavenly King Suppression hugged the two beauties on his left and right. His palms wandered around the two beautiful girls. Just as he was enjoying himself, a burly man in iron armor rushed in anxiously. Your Majesty, bad news? Bad news." The burly man shouted. Heavenly King Suppression was instantly displeased. His face darkened as he shouted coldly, "Su Feng, why are you in such a panic? Can't you see that I am holding a banquet for the officials to discuss important matters of the empire? If you are so flustered, how are you going to follow me to conquer the empire and dominate the world? You are a disgrace to me. Men, drag Su Feng away and flog him 100 times as a warning to others." Heavenly King Suppression waved his hand. Two tall guards strode forward and walked towards Su Feng. Your Majesty, let me finish. There is urgent news from the front lines. The Decimo Sword faction and the Sun Legion were annihilated in the battle with the Mystic Essence Sword faction. Qiu Weiyang and Qiu Changkong are dead. Su Feng hurriedly roared. Silence. Everyone fell silent. The dancing girls seemed to have frozen in their movements. The civil and military officials were about the same. Their movements froze. Some of them were drinking wine, but the wine almost poured into their nostrils. Heavenly King Suppression opened his mouth and looked at Su Feng in a daze. Then, his pupils dilated and his body began to tremble. He asked with a trembling voice, Su Feng, are you serious? If I find out that you are lying to me, I will kill your entire family." "It's true, Your Majesty." A general of the Decimo Sword faction was lucky enough to survive. The news reached me through multiple voice transmission talismans. Su Feng said loudly. Clang. The purple jade cup in Heavenly King Suppression's hand fell to the ground and shattered. His face was pale without a trace of blood. First, his lips began to tremble. Then, his entire body began to tremble. How could this be? How could this be? With the Decimo Sword faction's strength, how could they kill Qiu Weiyang and the others? Heavenly King kept muttering in disbelief. It's the Marquis Champion. The Marquis Champion is back. He easily killed all the experts from Omnidirectional Sword faction and Solar Core. Su Feng said. Lu Ming, it's actually him. I knew it long ago. I can't let him live. Heavenly King Suppression. Heavenly King. Retreat, count the troops. Take all the treasures and bring. Take all the treasures all. Heavenly another. Don't you think it's too late to leave? They were Lu Ming and Hua Qi. Heavenly King Suppression's face turned pale when he saw Hua Qi and Lu Ming. He looked at the two people in the sky in horror. Old man, today is the day you die. I'll take your head and offer it to my father's soul in heaven. Hua Qi's eyes turned red when he saw Heavenly King Suppression. He was filled with hatred. Kill them. Heavenly King Suppression roared. Bush. 6 figures rushed out from the crowd. Each of them exuded the aura of a martial ancestor realm 9th realm. Heavenly King Suppression had secretly recruited 6 Martial Ancestor Realm 9th Realm experts. He was extraordinary. What champion marquis? That. A middle-aged man with a cold and vicious face slashed at Lu Ming with his saber. At the same time, the other 5 people appeared. In an instant, the world became extremely violent. Spiritual chi was boiling. Various sword chi and saber energy blasted at Lu Ming. 6 Martial Ancestor Realm 9th Realm experts joining forces. Even a large city would be destroyed in an instant. Die, die. Heavenly King Suppression's eyes were filled with hope. Clown, Lu Ming said calmly. He stood in the air, motionless. Lightning flashed in his eyes. Then 6 bolts of lightning shot out from his eyes. Bang, bang. 6 crisp sounds were heard. The 6 Martial Ancestor Realm 9th Realm experts under Heavenly King Suppression turned into ashes and disappeared from the world. Bang. Heavenly King Suppression sat on the ground. His body trembled uncontrollably, and it was several times more intense than before. The other civil and military officials were not much different. They looked at Lu Ming in horror. In their eyes, the invincible Martial Ancestor Realm 9th Realm experts were turned into ashes by Lu Ming's glare. It was unbelievable. It was the work of a deity. It was not something that could be defeated by a human. The champion marquis is invincible. Your servant Gao Chuan welcomes the champion marquis and the 8th prince back to the palace. Suddenly, a crafty-looking official shouted from below. He looked at Lu Ming and Hua Qi flatteringly. Lu Ming and Hua Qi were slightly startled. The champion marquis, 8th prince, you don't know. I've always been loyal to the late emperor. I endured the humiliation and stayed by Heavenly King Suppression's side. My goal was to wait for the 8th prince to come back one day. The heavens have eyes. 8th prince, you're finally back. Gao Chuan shouted with a flattering face. Damn it, this Gao Chuan is really quick to change his mind. The other civil and military officials gritted their teeth. Oh. From what I know, you were the first to surrender when Heavenly King Suppression attacked the imperial capital. You even opened the city gates and let Heavenly King Suppression's army in. Hua Qi sneered. Gao Chuan's expression changed drastically. He forced a smile and said, 8th prince, you've misunderstood. There's no need to explain to me. Go and explain to my father. Hua Qi unsheathed his sword and cut Gao Chuan in half. Old man, it's your turn now. Hua Qi looked at Heavenly King Suppression. I'm your uncle. We're related by blood. I beg you, please let me go this time. Heavenly King Suppression shouted. Let you go? Ha, what a joke. Back then, when you killed my father, why didn't you think that he was your blood relative? Now, you're actually saying the word blood relative. You're simply shameless. Hua Qi's eyes were like lightning as he pointed his sword at Heavenly King Suppression. No, protect me. Guards, protect me. Heavenly King Suppression shouted crazily. However, no one moved. Everyone sat there in silence, not moving at all. Chapter 488. Hua Qi, kill him. Lu Ming nodded at Hua Qi at the same time. A surge of true qi flowed into Hua Qi's body. Instantly, Hua Qi felt his body brimming with energy. Go to hell, you old man. Hua Qi shouted as he charged at Heavenly King Suppression. You're the one who's going to die. Heavenly King Suppression saw that there was no way out. He waved his hand and a broad battle sword appeared in his hand as he slashed at Hua Qi. Heavenly King Suppression's cultivation was not weak. He had reached the 7th Martial Ancestor Realm. Hua Qi was only a 9th Martial Grandmaster and had not reached the Martial Ancestor Realm. However, Hua Qi's sword contained Lu Ming's true qi. True qi was many times stronger than true qi. Furthermore, it was Lu Ming's true qi. Hua Qi's sword had destroyed all of Heavenly King Suppression's attacks. He had split Heavenly King Suppression's sword and body in half. Heavenly King Suppression was dead. Ah, father, did you see that? I finally avenged you. Hua Qi knelt on the ground and laughed. Tears flowed down his cheeks as he laughed. It was as if he wanted to release all of the hatred that had accumulated in his heart. Lu Ming did not say anything as he watched quietly from the side. Hua Jie, don't go. Suddenly, a loud shout was heard. Lu Ming smiled when he saw it. It turned out that Hua Jie wanted to take the opportunity to escape but was caught by some ministers. Now that Heavenly King Suppression was dead, how could these officials be loyal to him? They wanted nothing more than to dig out their hearts and confess to Hua Qi. How could they let Hua Jie escape? No, let me go, let me go. Hua Jie screamed in horror. Hua Jie, I'll send you to accompany your father. Hua Qi's sword dripped with blood as he walked towards Hua Jie. Don't kill me, no. Hua Jie screamed. Then a stench filled the air. This guy was so scared that he peed his pants again. Hua Qi's eyes were filled with killing intent. The sword in his hand flashed and Hua Jie stopped screaming. Eighth Prince, I welcome the Eighth Prince back to the palace. I welcome the Eighth Prince back to the palace. All of the civil and military officials knelt down. Hua Qi's gaze was like lightning as he looked around. Everyone kept quiet out of fear, not even daring to breathe loudly. They were afraid that Hua Qi would kill them. The atmosphere at the scene seemed to have frozen. After a while, Hua Qi said, You guys, gather the troops and capture all of Heavenly King Suppressing's allies, troops, and families. Hua Qi didn't kill these people. Although these people were despicable, they still needed to rely on them if he wanted the Burning Sun Empire to continue running. If he killed them all, who would help him? Yes, I will do it right away. Eighth Prince, leave this matter to me. The civil and military officials scrambled to agree and then hurriedly went to carry out the orders. What a joke! This was a good opportunity to express her feelings to Hua Qi, who would miss it. Very soon, some of the ministers with large military forces retreated. The rest of the people were weak civil officials. They looked at Hua Qi and Lu Ming anxiously. Marquis Champion, please. Hua Qi waved his hand and said to Lu Ming. Lu Ming smiled and sat at a table casually. As for Hua Qi, he sat at Heavenly King's suppressing seat. The women knelt at the side and trembled. The civil officials also knelt on the ground and waited. Time passed and the imperial capital was in chaos. Countless troops ran and surrounded Heavenly King Suppressing's henchmen. There were battles everywhere. Not long after, Lin Shui and the others arrived and appeared in the sky. Sect leader Lin, send people to help clear out Heavenly King Suppressing's henchmen. Lu Ming said to Lin Shui. Okay. Lin Shui nodded. Then, hundreds of martial ancestor experts scattered around the imperial capital to help clear out Heavenly King Suppressing's henchmen. With the help of these experts, Heavenly King Suppressing's henchmen and those loyal to him were quickly killed. The entire imperial capital was filled with killing. Many ordinary people knew that the imperial capital was going to change again. From now on, the imperial capital was going to have a new ruler. When many people knew that it was the Eighth Prince who had returned, they were very happy. They didn't have a good time under Heavenly King Suppressing's rule. One day later, the battle in the imperial capital was over. The imperial capital had completely fallen into Hua Qi's hands. 2 days later, the Red Blood Cavalry arrived and helped Hua Qi take control of the imperial capital. He would leave the rest to Hua Qi. Lu Ming could not be bothered with him. Sect leader Lin, it's time to go to the Shifang Sword sect. Lu Ming said to Lin Shui in a courtyard. Okay. Lin Shui's eyes flashed with madness and anticipation. He had waited for this day for too long. 1 hour later, nearly 100 people led by Lu Ming flew to the Shifang Sword sect. The Shifang Sword sect wasn't far from the imperial capital. It was about 10,000 miles away. They arrived after an hour. More than 100 people floated above the Shifang mountain. Activate the sect protection array. Hurry up and activate the sect protection array. As soon as Lu Ming and the others arrived, a loud roar came from the Shifang Sword sect. Buzz buzz. Light shone everywhere in the Shifang Sword sect. Inscriptions flashed and formed a sect protection array that enveloped the Shifang Sword sect. Countless sword chi swam around. This sect protection array was similar to the Mystic Essence Sword sect's sect protection array. However, it was more powerful and mysterious. Obviously, the Shifang sword sect had already received the news. It seems like there are still many experts in the Shifang sword sect. There's even a half-step king among them. Lin Shui and the others said. Everyone looked at Lu Ming. They could only rely on Lu Ming to break the sect protection array of the Shifang sword sect. If they were to go, they wouldn't be able to break it in a short time. Lu Ming clenched his fist and a long spear condensed in the air. Then, the long spear slashed down at the Shifang sword sect. At the same time, the long spear rapidly enlarged to the size of a mountain and blasted towards the Shifang sword sect. Block it! Block it! Angry roars came from the Shifang sword sect. The sect protection array of the Shifang sword sect flickered crazily. At the same time, a few huge sword chi soared into the sky and blasted towards Lu Ming's spear light. However, under the pressure of the spear light, the sword chi collapsed like tofu. Boom! The spear light blasted heavily on the sect protection array of the Shifang sword sect. Bang! Bang! Almost immediately, the formation bases of the sect's grand defensive formation in the Decimo sword sect exploded. Screams came out one after another. Those who controlled the array were directly shocked to death by the backlash. With one move, the sect protection array of the Shifang sword sect was broken. Although they had long known that Lu Ming's battle strength was shocking and that he was a peerless king, Lin Shui and the others were still shocked when they saw this scene with their own eyes. Sect leader Lin, I'll leave the rest to you, Lu Ming said. Lu Ming no longer had the slightest interest in the following battles. Don't worry. Lin Shui nodded. Then they charged in. It was a completely one-sided massacre. 90% of the experts of the Shifang sword sect had died in the battle at the Mystic Essence sword sect. How could the remaining be a match for Lin Shui and the others? Chapter 489. However, Lin Shui and the rest did not kill the innocent. They only killed the higher-ups of the Shifang sword sect. Most of them were martial grand masters and above. They did not kill anyone below that. That was because those below the martial grandmaster level were not much of a threat. Soon, the Shifang sword sect quieted down. Lu Ming looked at the Shifang sword sect calmly without any expression on his face. In the world of martial arts, killings were carried out every day. Every day, there would be sects destroyed and sects rising. It was very normal. Lu Ming was silent for a while, then turned around and left. There was no need for him to do anything. Lin Shui and the rest were enough to destroy the Sky Fiend sect. The higher-ups of the Sky Fiend sect were almost all dead in the Mystic Essence sword sect. They could not stop Lin Shui and the rest. Lu Ming stepped on the air and traveled 1,000 miles in an instant. He headed towards the Mystic Essence sword sect. Soon, he returned to the Mystic Essence sword sect. GoldenEye, after this evolution, he will probably enter the King realm. In the air in front of the Mystic Essence sword sect, Lu Ming looked at the blood cocoon floating in the air and thought to himself. Then, Lu Ming moved and flew towards the depths of the Mystic Essence sword sect. Lu Ming came to the courtyard of Lu Yuntian and the rest. Lu Yuntian and Li Ping were drinking tea and chatting. Now that Lu Ming had become a king, his name was well known in the world. Both of them were very happy and always had smiles on their faces. Father, mother. Lu Ming pushed the door open and called out softly. Ming'er, you're back? Take a seat. Li Ping said with a smile. Lu Ming sat down. Ming-er, why didn't I see Miss Nianqing this time? Li Ping asked. In the past, Xian Yanqing was by Lu Ming's side every day. This was a well-known fact. Later, Xian Yanqing followed Lu Ming to participate in the assessment of the Imperial Divine Guards. Many people thought that Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were a couple. Li Ping and Lu Yuntian were also quite fond of Xian Yanqing, so they were naturally very concerned about him. Father, mother, Monsieur has other matters to attend to. She did not return to the Burning Sun Empire. Lu Ming said. At the mention of Xian Yanqing, Lu Ming had a complicated look in his eyes. He was also very worried. Unfortunately, there were no clues at all. Did you guys quarrel? As a man, sometimes you should let a girl have her way. You should learn from your father about this. Li Ping said earnestly. Cough, cough. Lu Yuntian coughed dryly. Father, mother, it's nothing. Miss Sierra is just busy. All right. Having said that, Lu Ming waved his hands and more than 10 jade bottles appeared on the table. Father, mother, these pills can nourish your body, replenish your blood, and prolong your life. Although they can't mend your meridians, they can still nourish your body. Lu Ming said. Lu Yuntian and Li Ping happily kept the pills. They knew that Lu Ming had reached the martial king realm. These pills were no longer of much use to Lu Ming. In the following days, Lu Ming would take time to visit Lu Yuntian and Li Ping every day. He would spend the rest of his time cultivating. After reaching the martial emperor realm, his comprehension of the martial path and his understanding of the martial path had improved tremendously. His comprehension of martial skills had also greatly increased. Lu Ming had already reached the limit of the second step of the 9 dragons sky-stomping steps. 7 days later, Lu Ming had successfully reached the 3rd step. With 3 consecutive steps, the power of the 9 dragons sky-stomping steps had increased by more than 10-fold. It had reached the 6th level of a lower heaven-class martial skill. In terms of power, it was no weaker than the 3rd level of the 3 skills of Dragon Mountain. Lu Ming had gained another trump card. In these 7 days, the Burning Sun Empire was shaken. Decimo Sword Faction and Sky Demon Sect were destroyed. The 8th Prince killed Sky Suppressing King and took back the imperial capital. Every piece of news was enough to shake the Burning Sun Empire. The most shocking news was that the Marquis of Champion Lu Ming had made a strong return and had reached the Martial King realm. Everyone was dumbfounded. Then, wherever the Mystic Essence Sword Faction, Crimson Cloud Valley, and the Imperial family's army passed, the Decimo Sword Faction and Sky Demon Sect's forces surrendered. There were almost no fierce battles. Half a month later, the entire Burning Sun Empire was under the control of the Mystic Essence Sword Faction, Crimson Cloud Valley, and the Imperial family. The Burning Sun Empire was unified like never before. As the saying went, a country could not be without a ruler. At this time, many people suggested that Hua Qi should inherit the throne and become the emperor of the Burning Sun Empire. But Hua Qi did not agree. He refused with the reason that the Burning Sun Empire had just gone through a great war. 2 days later, people tried again, but Hua Qi still refused. At this time, someone found Lu Ming, hoping that Lu Ming could persuade Hua Qi to ascend the throne. Lu Ming nodded and went to the imperial capital. Then, the imperial family announced to the world that Hua Qi would officially ascend the throne in a month's time in the imperial capital. At the same time, the Mystic Essence Sword Faction and Crimson Cloud Valley were made the 2 sacred grounds of the Burning Sun Empire. In addition, Lu Ming was made the champion king and the commander-in-chief of the empire. The Lu family was made a first-class family, on the same level as the noble families. When the news spread, it attracted the attention of the world. Countless forces were preparing to go to the imperial capital to celebrate the ascension of the new emperor. This was because everyone knew that Lu Ming was the one behind Hua Qi, a king who was not even 20 years old. That was the main point. As long as Lu Ming was alive, Hua Qi's power would be impregnable. The entire Burning Sun Empire was looking forward to the arrival of the new emperor. Even the other 35 empires were paying attention. However, Lu Ming did not care about any of this. He took Lu Yuntian and Li Ping back to the Lu family in Firestorm City. The Lu family was filled with red lights. It was a joyous scene. Countless people came in and out. It was very lively. The Lu family was now a first-class family, similar to the noble families. In the past few days, all the forces in a few hundred cities had come to congratulate them. The young master is back, and so is the family head and madam. A loud roar caused the entire Lu family to boil. Family head, madam, the young master is back. The news spread throughout the Lu family. When Lu Ming and the others walked to the front door of the Lu family, they were stunned to see countless people rushing out. At the front were the few remaining core elders of the Lu family and the branch masters of a few branches. Behind them, there were at least a few hundred people that Lu Ming did not know. Greetings to the family head, madam, young master, and family head. It has been many years since we last met. I can die without regrets. One of the core elders bowed in greeting. Looking at Lu Yuntian, tears almost fell from his eyes. Everyone, please rise. Lu Yuntian's eyes were filled with complicated emotions. After so many years, he had finally returned to the Lu family. I am the city lord of Flowing Light City. Greetings to the champion king, family head Lu, and Madam Lu. A stout man squeezed out of the crowd and bowed to Lu Ming. I am the family head of Lu family of Wutong City. Greetings to the champion king. Family head Lu, do you still recognize me? I am Lucio, the city lord of Fragrance City. Behind them, a group of people came over to greet them. Alright, everyone, let us in first. Lu Ming waved his hand and shouted. Chapter 490. After Lu Ming's group entered, the Lu family's core elders and the various lineages' leaders followed closely behind. The various lineages' leaders secretly rejoiced that Lu Yunxiong had failed to kill Lu Ming. Otherwise, the Lu family wouldn't be where it was today. The stronger the Lu family was, the more benefits they would reap. Now, as a mere lineage's leader, they had more authority than some of the major cities' city lords. Those city lords had to listen to them, which made them extremely happy. Naturally, they treated Lu Ming, Lu Yuntian, and the others with even more respect. The group arrived at the Lu family's courtyard. There were already dozens of banquet tables in the courtyard. Everyone invited Lu Ming, Lu Yuntian, and Li Ping to the highest table. Everyone, thank you for coming. This Lu hasn't been back for many years. Now, let me propose a toast to everyone. Lu Yuntian raised his wine cup and said loudly. Back then, Lu Yuntian had been quite famous in many major cities. Many of his old friends were present as well. Brother Yuntian, it's been many years. I didn't expect to see you again. Suddenly, a voice sounded. Lu Yuntian looked over and his eyes lit up. He smiled and said, Brother Zhou, I trust you've been well since we last met. Lu Ming also looked over and a smile appeared on his face. The person who spoke just now was actually Zhou Linshan. Lu Ming still remembered clearly that when he first joined the Mystic Essence Sword sect, he met Zhou Linshan on his first mission. It was also from Zhou Linshan that he learned that Lu Yuntian was still alive. Uncle Zhou, please take a seat. Lu Ming also stood up and cupped his fists. Champion King, there's no need to be so polite. I don't dare. Zhou Linshan quickly waved his hand. His heart was filled with complicated emotions as he sighed inwardly. When he first met Lu Ming was only a little guy in the martial master realm. In just a few years, Lu Ming had already become a king whose name shook the world. That was a king. Just thinking of that word made his heart tremble. Brother Zhou, there's no need to be so polite. Come. Lu Yuntian waved his hand. Back then, Lu Yuntian had entrusted the Heavenly Star Sword and 2 other important items to Zhou Linshan. This was enough to show their relationship. Lu Yuntian was overjoyed to see his old friend again. At this time, Zhou Linshan did not decline and walked towards Lu Ming and the other seats. Brother Zhou, long time no see. You and I have both aged. Come, let's drink 3 big bowls. Lu Yuntian laughed heartily. Instead of using cups, he poured 2 bowls full of wine. Good. Infected by Lu Yuntian's heroic spirit, Zhou Linshan also let loose. Laughing heartily, he downed 3 bowls of wine with Lu Yuntian. The surrounding castellans and aristocratic families' patriarchs cast envious gazes at Zhou Linshan. Zhou Linshan was actually on such good terms with the Lu clan? What kind of honor was it to be able to sit at the same table as Lu Ming and Lu Yuntung? Many people were even thinking about building a good relationship with Zhou Linshan in the future. Immediately, Lu Ming also toasted Zhou Linshan. After 3 rounds of wine, Lu Ming, Lu Yuntian, and Li Ping retreated. The others continued to drink. In the next few days, people came to the Lu clan to congratulate them. Lu Ming did not meet any of them as he focused on cultivating. As for Lu Yuntian, he met some of his acquaintances. Time slowly passed, and Lu Ming's comprehension of concept grew deeper. However, there was still a long way to go before he could condense concept runes for his wind and fire concept. On the other hand, due to the existence of the lightning cauldron, his lightning concept improved at lightning speed, advancing by leaps and bounds every day. As for the 3 ultimates of the dragon god, they had completely stabilized at the 3rd level. However, in order to reach the 4th level, he needed to condense concept runes for all 3 concepts. Soon more than 10 days passed. At this time, the Lu clan's people were preparing to depart for the capital city. The Lu clan was an important guest this time. Lu Ming, Li Ping, and Lu Yuntian arrived at the capital city 1 step ahead of them. On the 2nd day in the capital city, Lu Ming went to the Hall of General and headed towards the Earth Essence Cave. During this time, the Hall of General had started operating again. Some of the students who did not die in battle had also returned to the Hall of General. In the Blazing Sun Empire, the only thing that Lu Ming was curious about was the Earth Essence Cave. The Earth Essence Cave had a total of 13 levels. It was said that it was opened by the former king of the royal family. It was said that only kings could enter the 12th and 13th levels. Moreover, there was another saying that the 13th level opened by the king of the royal family was not the limit. Because with that king's strength, he could only open up the 13th level. Beyond that, even the king could not do it. Soon, Lu Ming arrived at the entrance of the Earth Essence Cave. Champion. The few burly men guarding the door were shocked at the sight of Lu Ming. They stuttered for a long time and could not utter a complete sentence. Lu Ming smiled and walked in without consulting anyone. Only then did the guards realize what was going on. Nestle, who is that? He actually walked in just like that. He seems very arrogant. There were some other young men around. A young man with an arrogant face said indignantly, "Are you fucking blind? That is Lu Ming, the champion king. Don't you know him? Are you a new student who just joined?" Someone at the side said with disdain. "What? That is Lu Ming? No, that is the champion king? My idol, my idol. Why didn't you say so earlier? Oh my God, I missed my idol just like that. No, I will wait for him here." The arrogance on the face of the arrogant young man disappeared. It was replaced by admiration. The news of Lu Ming's arrival at the Earth Essence Cave spread throughout the Hall of General. Countless people gathered around the Earth Essence Cave. Some of the young men who were in closed-door training also ended their training and rushed to the Earth Essence Cave when they heard the news. Among them, the majority were girls. Lu Ming had reached the martial king realm before the age of 20. Not to mention the Blazing Sun Empire, he was unprecedented even in the Cloud Empire's 36 countries. Young girls worshipped heroes and loved geniuses. Lu Ming was such a peerless genius. Naturally, there were many girls who adored and loved him. Countless people gathered outside the Earth Essence Cave and waited. Lu Ming naturally did not know how big of a commotion he had caused. He went all the way down and did not stop. Soon, Lu Ming arrived at the 9th floor. At this point, the spiritual chi of fire was extremely dense and violent. Ordinary people could not cultivate here at all. The violent fire spiritual chi would burn their meridians and damage them. However, to Lu Ming, the fire spiritual chi was like a spring breeze. He did not feel anything. He continued going down. When he arrived at the 10th floor, he felt that the fire spiritual chi on the 10th floor was several times richer and more violent than the 9th floor. Lu Ming did not stop and continued going down. 11th floor, 12th floor. When Lu Ming arrived at the 12th floor, his expression changed slightly. The fire spiritual chi here had reached an exaggerated level. Endless fire spiritual chi was incomparably violent, wantonly ravaging everything. The surrounding walls were completely crystallized and were extremely hard. Lu Ming felt that even if a half-step king were to cultivate here, he would be killed by the fire spirit energy here. Chapter 491. Lu Ming was amazed. This place was really strange. The deeper he went, the denser and more violent the fire spiritual chi became. What was down there? How could such a strange place be formed? Lu Ming was curious. He continued to go down to the 13th floor. Boom! Surging fire spiritual chi rushed toward him. Lu Ming felt as if he had walked into a volcano. An extremely hot aura spread throughout his body. This fire spiritual qi is too abnormal. Lu Ming activated the fire intent realm to resist the fire spiritual qi outside. Then he looked around. The 13th floor was very small. It was only the size of an ordinary secret room. The surrounding walls had completely turned into fiery red crystals. The stone room was empty. There was nothing in it. Lu Ming could sense that the raging fire spirit energy was emanating from beneath his feet. It seems that the martial king of the imperial family could only dig up to this point and did not have the strength to continue. That's right, the fire spiritual qi here is too strong for an ordinary martial king to bear, Lu Ming thought. However, although he was only an early-stage martial king, he was not an ordinary martial king. His strength was so strong that he could kill a third-stage martial king expert. With the protection of 3 intents and the eruption of true yuan, the fire spiritual qi here could not do anything to him. Then I'll continue to dig and see what's down there? Lu Ming's eyes flickered. A LV5 spiritual weapon appeared in his hand. Lu Ming slashed at the ground with the saber. 3 intents were entwined on the saber. Clang clang. The saber hit the ground as if it had hit a piece of iron. Sparks flew everywhere. However, pieces of glass-like stones were still cut off from the ground. Lu Ming took out a storage ring and put away the stones. Then he continued to slash at the ground. Very soon, Lu Ming cut a big hole in the ground and continued downward. After about 10 meters, Lu Ming began to expand the hole. 2 hours later, a stone room appeared. The 14th floor. The fire spiritual qi here had reached a terrifying level. However, he still could not see what was emitting it. Lu Ming furrowed his brows. The reason for that was because this was his limit. If he were to continue down with his strength, he might not be able to withstand it. This was too terrifying. Incredible. No matter what is down there, it must be incredible. Forget it, I'm not strong enough now. When I'm strong enough in the future, I'll dig to the bottom and see what's down there. Lu Ming secretly decided. Now, there are only a few days left before the flower pond. I should be able to cultivate here. The fire spiritual qi here was extremely dense. Moreover, it contained a powerful fire mentality. It was perfect to cultivate and comprehend the fire mentality here. It would definitely be many times better than the outside world. Immediately, Lu Ming sat down cross-legged, and the 9 dragons' bloodline appeared. He opened his mouth, and fire elemental spiritual qi gathered in his dragon mouth. The raging fire spiritual qi was directly converted into vital essence after being refined by the 9 dragon bloodline. At the same time, Lu Ming extended his mind and began comprehending the concept of fire. As expected, comprehending the concept of fire here was many times faster than outside. Lu Ming's understanding of the concept of fire gradually deepened. In the blink of an eye, a few days passed. There were only 2 days left before the flower pond's coronation. Lu Ming finished his cultivation and walked out of the Earth Essence Cave. Look, Lu Ming is out. As soon as Lu Ming walked out of the Earth Essence Cave, he heard a scream. Then, Lu Ming saw a large group of girls looking at him with shining eyes. Is that the champion, Lu Ming? He's so handsome. Oh no, I'm tempted. What should I do? I want to marry him. At least a few hundred girls were looking at him with shining eyes. Are you kidding me? I've been cultivating for a few days. Why are there still people waiting here? Lu Ming was speechless. He moved his body and left the place, leaving behind a group of sighing girls. The imperial capital was getting more and more lively. Tens of thousands of cities in the Burning Sun Empire had sent envoys to congratulate him. Not only that, but envoys from other empires had also come. The imperial capital was filled with a joyous atmosphere. In the imperial garden of the imperial palace, 3 figures sat facing each other in a pavilion. Come, Big Stone, the 3 of us haven't drunk together for a long time. Come, drink with me in 3 big bowls. Hua Qi raised a big bowl of wine and said to a tall young man. The 3 of them were Lu Ming, Hua Qi, and Pang Shi. A few days ago, Pangshi had followed the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's team to the imperial capital. When Lu Ming came out of seclusion, Hua Qi pulled Lu Ming and Pangshi to drink. Lu Ming also smiled. He and Pangshi had not seen each other for a long time. The scene of the three of them drinking together in the dormitory was still vivid in his mind. "Okay, I'll drink with you." Pangshi raised the big bowl and drank it all in one gulp. He then scratched his head and said with a silly smile, "I didn't expect that among the three of us, one of us is going to become the emperor, one of us is going to become the emperor, and one of us is going to become a world-famous emperor. I'm the only one who's still at the 9th layer martial master realm. Big Stone, don't be discouraged. Your specialty is to be steady and have a solid foundation. Your future is limitless. In the future, I might have to give up my position as the kingdom's commander-in-chief to you." Lu Ming patted Pangshi's shoulder and said, "Ha, senior brother Lu Ming, I'm not discouraged. I'm happy for the two of you. When I return to the village in the future and say that I know the two of you, I wonder how many people will envy me." Pangshi smiled. "Yes, right." At this moment, Lu Ming waved his hand and a few books and jade bottles appeared on the table. Lu Ming picked up 3 books and passed them to Pangshi, saying, "Big Stone, there are 3 cultivation technique manuals here. All of them belong to the Earth level inferior grade. They are very suitable for you to cultivate." "What? Earth rank martial skill manuals? Senior brother Lu Ming, these are too precious. I can't take them." Pangshi waved his hand. "Big Stone, take them. To be honest, I don't have any use for these martial skill manuals. It would be a waste to keep them. You should take them and cultivate." Lu Ming smiled. After hearing Lu Ming's words, Pangshi accepted them. He was very grateful to Lu Ming. Lower Earth rank martial skill manuals were definitely the best in the Blazing Sun Empire. "Hua Qi, these are for you." Lu Ming handed the other books to Hua Qi. "Thank you." Hua Qi did not stand on ceremony and accepted them. He knew that with Lu Ming's cultivation, these martial skill manuals were not useful to Lu Ming. Also, these elixirs can help you break through the shackles and increase your cultivation. Lu Ming pointed at the elixirs and said to the two of them. Then, he divided the elixirs into 2 portions and gave one each to Hua Qi and Pangshi. Many of these elixirs were obtained from the storage rings of martial kings. They were definitely of high quality. Chapter 492. With Lu Ming's secret manuals and pills, their cultivation would definitely improve by leaps and bounds. Then, the two of them chatted as they drank. They drank for a few hours before dispersing. 2 days later, in front of the imperial palace, there was a spacious plaza filled with tables. Around the square, there were countless armored soldiers guarding the square, making it so that not even a drop of water could trickle through. In the middle of the plaza, there was an altar. Hua Qi was wearing a dragon robe. Surrounded by civil and military officials as well as city lords, he prayed to the heavens and ancestors, officially ascending to the throne as the Blazing Sun Empire's emperor. After the meeting, it was time for a grand banquet. The champion king and grand marshal have arrived. Patriarch Lu and Madame Lu have arrived. A loud shout reverberated throughout the plaza. Lu Ming, Lu Yuntian, and Li Ping walked in from the outside. "This humble subject greets your majesty. This humble subject greets your majesty." Lu Ming, Lu Yuntian, and Lu Yuntian cupped their fists at Hua Qi and bowed. "Champion king, Uncle Lu, Auntie Lu, rise, rise. Men, give them a seat." Hua Qi hurried to welcome them, helping Lu Ming, Lu Yuntian, and Lu Yuntian up. Then he welcomed the 3 of them and sat down next to him. It was the seat closest to him. The Mystic Essence Sword Sect Master has arrived. The Crimson Cloud Valley's Valley Master has arrived. Then, Lin Shui and Ling Padian led the 2 sects' golden-robed elders and several young elites into the plaza. Everyone first greeted Hua Qi, then presented their congratulatory gifts. Then, some of the smaller forces of the Blazing Sun Empire also entered the plaza to greet the new emperor and present their gifts. Blood Zhao Empire's Great Sun Prefecture's prefecture lord has arrived. Suddenly, A shout made the whole place quiet down. Great Sun Prefecture's Prefecture Lord? Lin Shui, Ling Padian, and the others were shocked. Lu Ming, on the other hand, had a cold expression on his face. It was said that the Great Sun Prefecture's Prefecture Lord was one of the 2 kings of the Blood Zhao Empire, and he had lived for several hundred years. Outside the plaza, an old man in a sun robe walked in with dozens of elders and burly men. Great Sun Prefecture Lord Jianyang greets the new Emperor Blazing Sun. The Great Sun Prefecture's Lord led the crowd and bowed to Hua Qi before shifting his gaze to Lu Ming. Great Sun Constabulary, hee, I haven't even gone to look for you and you've already delivered yourselves to me. Lu Ming slowly got up and the aura emanating from his body rose rapidly. Champion King, it's a misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. The Great Sun Mansion Lord's expression changed drastically as he shouted. Misunderstanding? Is it a misunderstanding that your Great Sun Palace's 100,000 Sun Legion is attacking the burning Sun Empire? Lu Ming sneered. Champion King, it's a misunderstanding. I was in seclusion at the time and had no idea that such a thing had happened. It was all because my subordinates were bewitched. When I came out of seclusion and learned of this, I killed the general of the Sun Corps. I'm here today to apologize to Champion King and everyone else. The Great Sun Prefecture's Lord quickly explained in an honest manner, without the dignity of a king. Everyone knew that it was all because of Lu Ming. If it wasn't for Lu Ming, the Great Sun Prefecture's Lord wouldn't have come to congratulate Hua Qi. Even if he did, he would have come to avenge the 100,000 Sun Corps. However, because of Lu Ming, the Great Sun Prefecture's Lord didn't even dare to say a word about the death of the 100,000 Sun Corps. Instead, he came to apologize pitifully. After the Great Sun Prefecture's Lord finished speaking, he waved his hand and boxes appeared on the ground. Inside the boxes were various spiritual weapons, elixirs, and smithing materials. Furthermore, they were all of high grades, most of them being LV4. Champion King, these are a little gift from me, please accept it. The Great Sun Prefecture's Lord said with a smile. He was indeed afraid. Previously, when Lu Ming killed the kings, he was afraid that Lu Ming would attack the Great Sun Prefecture in a fit of rage. If that happened, he would be finished. He was only a first-layer martial Emperor realm cultivator, thus it was unlikely that he could survive a single attack from Lu Ming. The Great Sun Prefecture's Lord wore a flattering smile as he stared at Lu Ming. This caused the crowd to be astounded. In the past, the Great Sun Prefecture's Lord was a legendary figure, standing high above the masses. Even if they wanted to meet him, they wouldn't be able to. Now, such a figure was behaving like a junior in front of Lu Ming, cautiously putting on a flattering smile, causing the crowd to feel strange. Some of the young cultivators were trembling in excitement, clenching their fists tightly and yelling in their hearts, "This is what a real cultivator should be like in the future, so that I won't waste my life." Lu Ming did not answer immediately, but closed his eyes as if he was in deep thought. The Great Sun Prefecture's Lord stared at Qin Nan without daring to utter a word. A moment later, Lu Ming opened his eyes and said, "Today is a joyous day for the Blazing Sun Empire, so I won't hold it against you. However, remember this, if you dare to offend the Blazing Sun Empire again, I will personally flatten the Great Sun Prefecture." Murderous intent flickered in Lu Ming's eyes as he said the last sentence. The Great Sun Prefecture's Lord and the other higher-ups broke out in cold sweat, their hearts turning cold. "Thank you, Champion King." The people of the Great Sun Prefecture cupped their fists together and expressed their gratitude. "You're a guest, have a seat." Lu Ming waved his hand and said. The people of the Great Sun Prefecture heaved a sigh of relief as if they had been granted amnesty, and sat down at the side. Jianghu Empire's Night Moon Emperor has arrived. At that moment, a loud shout could be heard. The crowd fell into silence once again. The Night Moon Emperor of the Jianghu Empire was a famous martial emperor expert in the 36 countries of the Imperial Cloud Empire, the strongest expert in the Jianghu Empire. Who would have thought that such a person would be here? Hua Qi, Lin Shui, and the others were overjoyed, and quickly stood up to welcome the arrival. A tall and thin middle-aged man walked in with a group of people. Night Moon congratulates the new emperor of the Blazing Sun Prefecture and greets the champion king. The Night Moon Emperor bowed slightly to Hua Qi and then solemnly bowed to Lu Ming. Everyone knew that the Night Moon Emperor had come for Lu Ming. Night Moon Emperor, please take a seat. Lu Ming waved his hand and said, "The patriarch of the Wuhui sect has arrived. The Grand Patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect has arrived. The Jinkei king has arrived." Then, one after another, loud shouts could be heard. Everyone at the scene was shocked to the extreme. Because the people who came were all overlords of the 36 countries of the Imperial Cloud Empire, and they were all martial emperor experts. Every one of them was an invincible figure in the 36 countries of the Imperial Cloud Empire, and they were all legendary almighties. Most of the time, they were extremely elusive. Yet, at this very moment, they were actually gathered here together. Finally, almost all the martial emperors of the 8 intermediate countries in the Imperial Cloud Mountain Range had arrived, and there were a total of 15 of them. One should know that there were no more than 20 martial emperors of the 36 countries of the Imperial Cloud Empire. It could be said that most of the martial emperors were here. At the scene, everyone from the Blazing Sun Empire was excited. This was a kind of glory, and this glory was brought by Lu Ming. Everyone knew that these experts were here for Lu Ming. A martial emperor who was less than 20 years old was too amazing, and his future was limitless. Naturally, they wanted to curry favor and befriend him as soon as possible. Chapter 493. Champion King, I think the scar on your father's face should have been left within the past 10 years. I have a portion of crystal morning ointment here. Although it cannot heal your father's meridian injuries, it should be enough to heal this scar. The one who spoke was a white-haired old man. He was one of the retired emperors of the Cloud Desolate Empire. He was a mid-third level martial king and was known as one of the top 3 experts of the 36 countries. At this moment, he took out a jade bottle and handed it to Lu Ming. "Thank you, senior." Lu Ming was overjoyed and took it without hesitation. Although it couldn't heal Lu Yuntian's meridians, it could heal the scar on his face. Lu Ming was also very happy. "Thank you, senior." Lu Yuntian and Li Ping also bowed to the retired emperor of the Cloud Desolate Empire. No need to be so polite. This is just a small token of my appreciation." The Cloud Desolate Empire's retired emperor laughed. Then, everyone sat down. At this moment, almost everyone who should be here had arrived. Suddenly, Lu Ming raised his head and a cold light flashed in his eyes. He said coldly, "Sir, you have been watching for so long. Shouldn't you show yourself?" What? When Lu Ming said this, everyone was shocked and looked towards the sky. But the sky was very clear. There was not a single cloud. How could there be anyone? Without clouds, how could anyone hide? Lu Ming couldn't have sensed wrongly, right? At this moment as expected of the champion king. Becoming a king at such a young age is indeed extraordinary. You can actually sense me. A cold laugh rang out from the sky. At the same time, a figure suddenly appeared out of nowhere. It was as if he had appeared out of thin air. This was a white-haired old man wearing a black robe. His face was cold. "It's you, Hell King Manor's old ghost Yu Ming." When the retired emperor of the Cloud Desolate Empire saw this old man, he roared. On the field, the other kings were also shocked. Could this old man be the strongest assassin of the Hell King Manor, the one who was as famous as the retired emperor of the Cloud Desolate Empire, one of the top 3 experts of the 36 countries of the Cloud Desolate Empire, Yu Ming? This was a name that would make people pale. Hell King Manor was the #1 assassin organization in the 36 countries of Emperor Yun. It had branches in every empire. In the Burning Sun Empire, there was also a branch of the King of Hell Mansion. It was also known as one of the 4 major assassin organizations in the Burning Sun Empire. Hell King Manor could be said to be the enemy of all the 36 countries of the Cloud Emperor. Almost every powerful force had people assassinated by Hell King Manor. At this moment, Yu Ming's appearance caused many people's expressions to change. "You've been hiding in the sky, sneaking around. Do you think I don't know? If you're here to congratulate me, I'll welcome you. If not, scram. Lu Ming's gaze was like lightning as he stared at Yu Ming. Hee, Champion King, you are indeed young and full of vigor. What a big tone. Yu Ming sneered and continued, Lu Ming, the one who shouldn't have appeared is you. Once you appear, the balance of the 36 countries will be broken sooner or later. Therefore, it's best that you disappear from this world. You want to kill me? Lu Ming smiled faintly. Hee, I heard that some time ago, you killed a warrior in the early 3rd level of Martial King realm. I can only say that rumors are really powerful. Those who spread these rumors are also brainless people who don't understand the mystery of the Martial King realm. In the Martial King realm, a warrior who has just broken through to the Martial King realm can't kill a warrior in the 3rd level of Martial King realm. So many people are really stupid. How can they believe such words? Yu Ming sneered and his eyes were filled with killing intent. Lu Ming's rise made Hell King Manor feel threatened. Now, Hell King Manor could call for wind and rain in the 36 countries of Emperor Yun. Many forces were in awe of them. He was used to such a life. However, Lu Ming had appeared. Such a young king would definitely surpass him in the future. At that time, Hell King Manor would have a hard time. Therefore, he decided to kill Lu Ming before he grew up. Then you can try. Lu Ming said. Try, I'll try. As soon as he finished speaking, a sword light suddenly burst out from Yu Ming's hand. This sword light was extremely sharp and unbelievably fast. It silently pierced towards Lu Ming's throat. Fast, too fast. It passed through a few thousand meters of the void. Yu Ming was fast, but Lu Ming was faster. The long spear had appeared in Lu Ming's hand out of nowhere. He stabbed the sword light with the spear. Clang. With a crisp sound, the sword light was knocked away. The sword light flew back to Yu Ming's hand. Not bad. Yu Ming said faintly. Now it's my turn. As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Ming rushed up to the sky. Boom. Lu Ming didn't want to waste time talking nonsense. He directly stepped out. The 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps erupted with 3 different wills at the same time. Incomparably terrifying energy erupted and blasted towards Nether Spirit. Break for me. With a sword cry, a sword light burst out from Yu Ming's hand. It was even stronger than before. However, this sword light collapsed under Lu Ming's foot. Under the pressure of the powerful force, Yu Ming was forced to take 5 or 6 steps back. Boom. Then, Lu Ming took a second step. A force several times stronger than before suddenly burst out. So strong? Yu Ming's expression changed for the first time. He became extremely serious. His body flashed with silver light as the power of his bloodline burst out. At the same time, he stabbed out with his sword. Ghosts wailed and wolves howled as a black sword light pierced forward. As the sword light pierced out, countless ghostly shadows could be seen flickering. Boom! There was an earth-shattering explosion between heaven and earth. The entire imperial capital shook. In the next moment, Yu Ming spat out a mouthful of blood. His body retreated wildly, his eyes filled with disbelief. Too strong, Lu Ming is too strong. He's even stronger than the rumors said. He now believed that Lu Ming had really killed an early-stage Martial King realm expert. However, it was too late to believe it now. Because Lu Ming had already taken his 3rd step. The 9 dragons' sky-stomping steps. 3 steps in a row, the power kept increasing. This step was as powerful as the vast ocean. It was endless and drowned Yu Ming. No. Yu Ming roared wildly. He burst out with all his strength, trying to rush out of the range of the 9 dragons' sky-stomping steps. However, it was all in vain. As the 9 dragons' sky-stomping steps landed, Yu Ming's body cracked at a speed visible to the naked eye. Then he exploded in the air. Lu Ming controlled the 9 dragons' bloodline to devour Yu Ming's essence and blood. At the same time, he took off Yu Ming's storage ring. Then he waved his hand and a flame appeared, burning Yu Ming's body to ashes. Below, countless people were dumbfounded. Especially those kings. They kept gasping and felt cold all over. Their backs were wet with cold sweat. Lu Ming's strength was beyond everyone's expectations. Yu Ming, who had been famous in the 36 countries of the Cloud Emperor for hundreds of years, who made countless people pale at the mention of his name, had actually been killed by Lu Ming so easily. Chapter 494. As a matter of fact, most of the martial emperors had the same thought as Yu Ming. They did not believe that Lu Ming had managed to kill a third-layer martial emperor realm cultivator not long after he had broken through to the martial emperor realm. After all, a third-layer martial emperor was much stronger than a first-layer martial emperor. They had come to befriend Lu Ming mainly because of Lu Ming's potential. They valued his future instead of his current strength. Now, they finally realized that Lu Ming's strength had reached a terrifying level. Killing Yu Ming in just a few moves meant that he was the strongest person in the 36 kingdoms of the Cloud Emperor. The patriarch of the Great Sun Prefecture, in particular, began to tremble. Lu Ming's combat ability was beyond his imagination. If he wanted to kill him, he did not need one move. Half a move would be enough. Impressive, truly impressive. It seems like I'm getting old. The retired emperor of the Cloud Desolate Empire exclaimed as he collected his thoughts. That's right. The champion king is truly a rare genius. In the future, he will definitely become a famous powerhouse on the continent and his name will shake the world. Immediately, the dozen or so martial kings revealed smiles and flattered Lu Ming. Everyone else at the scene was dumbfounded. They realized that the martial emperors who used to be superior were now acting like ordinary people, flattering the stronger ones. Everyone, the problem has been solved. Please take a seat and continue drinking. Lu Ming waved his hand and said, after cultivating in the Earth Element Cave for more than 10 days, Lu Ming's cultivation had reached the mid-first layer martial emperor realm. His strength had improved once again. Lu Ming was not surprised that he was able to kill Yu Ming with the third step of the 9 Dragons' heaven-stomping steps. Immediately, the banquet continued. However, everyone was in a different mood at the feast. The people of the Blazing Sun Empire were excited. With an expert like Lu Ming in charge, the Blazing Sun Empire would surely prosper. Meanwhile, the people of the other empires were having different thoughts. The feast lasted for 5 hours before it was announced that it was over. The crowd slowly dispersed. Lu Ming, Lu Yuntian, and Li Ping stayed in the imperial city for 2 days before returning to the Lu clan. On this day, Lu Ming sensed something and flew towards the Mystic Essence Sword sect. When Lu Ming arrived at the Mystic Essence Sword sect, the air above the sect was filled with the smell of blood. It was the blood cocoon formed by the golden-eyed blood zombie. It seemed that the evolution was complete. The blood cocoon trembled, and the surrounding blood chi was so dense that it could not be dispersed. After a long while, the blood chi gathered toward the blood cocoon and disappeared into it. Gotcha! Then the blood cocoon cracked open, and a muscular figure walked out from it. The golden-eyed blood zombie's body was covered in a blood-red mist, and its skin had turned pale gold. Moreover, the hair on its body and the fangs in its mouth had disappeared. It looked very similar to a normal person. A terrifying aura emanated from the golden-eyed blood zombie. This was the aura of a king. The golden-eyed blood zombie had successfully evolved into a true king after absorbing the blood of 5 or 6 kings and hundreds of thousands of soldiers. Master! When the golden-eyed blood zombie saw Lu Ming, a trace of excitement flashed across its face. It bowed to Lu Ming. Golden-eyed, you can speak? Lu Ming was taken aback. Yes, I can speak as soon as I become a king. The golden-eyed blood zombie bowed. As expected, it said that once a monster reaches the king level, it can speak as well. It seems that the king level is indeed a hurdle. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He took out a set of clothes and tossed it to the golden-eyed blood zombie. Put these on. Yes, master. The golden-eyed blood zombie took the clothes and put them on. Golden-eyed, follow me back to the Lu family. From now on, you'll be responsible for the safety of my parents. Lu Ming ordered. The golden-eyed blood zombie bowed. Lu Ming was overjoyed that the golden-eyed blood zombie had become a king. Initially, he was worried about Lu Yuntian and Li Ping's safety. Now that the golden-eyed blood zombie had become a king, he felt more at ease with it protecting Lu Yuntian and Li Ping. In a flash, they headed back to the Lu family. Not long after, they arrived at the Lu family. When Lu Yuntian found out that the golden-eyed blood zombie had become a king, he was shocked at first. Then he was pleasantly surprised. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, 7 days had passed. In 7 days, the scars on Lu Yuntian's face had completely disappeared. Not a single trace was left behind. He had regained his former handsomeness and resembled Lu Ming by 60 to 70%. Lu Ming, Li Ping, and the rest were overjoyed. At this time, Lu Ming bade farewell to Lu Yuntian and Li Ping. It was time to return to the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. After Li Ping's reminder, Lu Ming soared into the sky and left in a flash. However, he did not head to the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace immediately. Instead, he went to the Cloud Wilderness Empire's imperial capital. This was because there was still one thing that had not been resolved. Although Lu Ming had killed Yu Ming in the King of Hell Manor, there were still some experts below. If Lu Ming left, there was no guarantee that these experts would harm Lu Ming's family. He had to deal with this scourge first. In the 36 countries of the Cloud Wilderness Empire, the one who understood the King of Hell Manor the most was undoubtedly the retired Emperor of the Cloud Wilderness Empire. Lu Ming's arrival shook the Cloud Wilderness Empire's imperial family. Naturally, he was able to meet the retired Emperor of the Cloud Wilderness Empire. The retired Emperor of the Cloud Wilderness Empire was named Huang Su. When he heard that Lu Ming was going to deal with the King of Hell Manor, he was naturally overjoyed. King Champion, my Cloud Wilderness Empire has been investigating the King of Hell Manor for close to 100 years. Although the King of Hell Manor's headquarters is extremely secretive and no one knows about it, I have already known about it. In the past, I was afraid of Yu Ming's strength. That was why I did not attack the King of Hell Manor's headquarters. Now that Yu Ming is dead, it's time to get rid of this scourge. Huang Su was overjoyed. Senior Huang, there's no need for too many people. Just the two of us is enough. Lu Ming said. All right, I'll bring you there immediately. Huang Su said. After that, Lu Ming and Huang Su flew out of the Cloud Wilderness Empire's imperial capital and headed towards the north. The north of the Cloud Emperor mountain range was incomparably desolate. There were mountains everywhere and powerful demonic beasts roamed about. There was no empire here and not many people lived here. Lu Ming and the ruins came to the top of a wide lake. As far as I know, there's another world under this lake. The King of Hell Manor's headquarters is under this lake. Huang Su said. It's really secretive. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. Let's go. After that, Lu Ming and Huang Su rushed into the lake. True essence covered their bodies as the two silently headed towards the bottom of the lake. The lake was very deep. The deepest part was actually 1,000 meters. At the bottom of the lake, there wasn't much silt. Most of it was smooth rocks. In the middle of the rocks, there was a 2-meter wide crack. This crack was inscribed with inscriptions, blocking the lake water so that the lake water couldn't flow down. Obviously, the King of Hell Manor's headquarters was below. The two restrained their auras and silently passed through the inscriptions. After passing through the inscriptions, their eyes suddenly opened up. Below, there were some naturally formed underground caverns that extended in all directions and were incomparably wide. In front of them, there was a faint sound of talking. The two of them moved and moved forward. In a small cave, several Hell King Manor's assassins dressed in black robes were conversing. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Immortal Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.